Okay, I think we're live. Let me see here. Streamer cam on, I think. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Sorry about yesterday. Interesting in the. Oh, good morning, Grace, of course. Speaking of Grace, she had an interesting crossover with Ruby finally. Ruby came onto the Thorpe stream and kind of like defended herself and went after Ben. So we got that kind of. We got that we got that kind of fun content. Then Vegan's been live. Vegan Patriot's been live pretty much all the time. I think she's sleeping right now, but she's got her either has the camera off or it's really bad lighting. You can't see anything. No stream yesterday from the Healthy Family Force, though. That's kind of interesting. There's a lot of speculation about what's going on with that, but supposedly it was just they delayed it, and Rich said they'd get it back up again shortly. What's up, Steve Benningfield? Love the Ruby, love the Ruby emote. But yeah, they did. Ben and Grace covered the RTU situation and the Keno Casino coverage. I think that was all of the everything from the big four yesterday. Yeah, I think so. Savvy Guy, new videos. Of course, Tony Yeoman has a great video where I don't remember what the food was, but the substance of his talk was that he would not stand on the wing of a plane while it was on fire. Like that was the theme. Anything else? Oh, the currently loading the had the narcissist ex-husband. She's begun reading her journals, and I'm almost thinking we have to do an episode now. If she's reading her journals, like I feel like we have to do an episode about that. I think that's it though. I think that's all my news for the day. What? Hold on, let me check. Let me see if I found anything new. I found a video breaking down the time that Keith Hackney kept punching Joe Son in the balls, but I don't know. I feel like UFC would take it down, even though it's just in clips. Indy Rose has a video from a couple weeks ago that I found where she dresses up like Priscilla Presley and makes dinner. That seems pretty interesting. I found a VHS tape, "Protect Your Family Against Crime." We can watch sometime. Some old some old like news clips. I also found a guy that we'll watch it. We'll watch it maybe today, but it's this guy. His name is Zane Tarver. I don't know anything about him. All of his videos have like maybe 1 to 5 views for the most part. I don't know. I was hoping maybe he'd be like a new savvy guy, maybe. Where are the bandages from the burns from the Mary Lou Dragon incident? But anyway, that's it. I think that's all the streaming news I have. I'll be here tomorrow. I still don't know what my schedule is going to be like. I'm still like up in the air about if we're doing anything tonight or tomorrow night. But I'll make if once I find out, I'll make a post either way. But that's it. That's all the news I got. We are going back to Memphis CWA Championship Wrestling, February 28th, 1987, as seen by the audience in Evansville, Indiana. This show, I noticed it going through to get the thumbnail. This has a one-on-one match with Lawler versus Boy Tony, which I'm pretty interested in. But anyway, here we go. February 28th, 1987. Hey, Randy. Hey, what's up, Dan? Oh, and I thought I'll talk about this a little bit more later on, I'm sure, but I thought I would try to make up for missing the stream by doing a Savvy Guy presentation video, and man, I really underestimated how difficult it is. I tried to script it so that I could kind of stay on topic, but when you script it at all, it's hard for me anyway to really like get that Savvy Guy like loop, like because the loop is so fast, like it's every like 10 or 20 seconds sometimes that he'll like repeat his thing, and I just couldn't do it. And I think the voice I used was a little bit over the top too, but I tried. I went to a beautiful place to do it though. The visual part of it is great, and I like walk past a bunch of fishermen that are mad that I'm there. But the actual presentation is lackluster, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're off and ready for another big day of championship wrestling. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown, and son of a gun, we got an opening bout in here that I am looking forward to, David.
Bring this one on real quick. Boy, Tony is going to be here, and he is going to be going against the King today, Jerry Lawler. Opening match. That's just the opener.
That's just opener.
Imagine what we got coming up after that. We will have Alan West in here, part of a tag team match. The Hunter will be here this week. He'll be teamed with Don Bass.
Yeah, like if I was doing like I can do that if I'm like just being myself, and I kind of assume that and I can do it sometimes with like if I like with wrestlers and stuff, I can like kind of build off their persona to like improv, but the Savvy Guy stuff is tough, man. That loop is hard. Like my brain does not want to let me repeat the same phrase like 10 seconds after I say it. It's so props to Savvy Guy, man. It's tough to do the loop. It was a nightmare for me.
It's going to be a big, powerful team, tag team there. Then Big Lou, Jerry Bryant, the Medics will be here. Bubba Goliath will be here too. And a little bit later on, we'll be looking at Mr. Rising Sun Shima.
What's up, F. Wood?
His partner Tarzan Goto, and one of the guys he'll be going against, Soul Train Jones. Good day coming up.
Okay, international heavyweight champ. We're going to be seeing a lot of it. Well, Bruno's been running that big mouth about Gimme Lawler and this and that and titles and all. Well, this isn't a title today, but he's got Lawler in there. Boy, Tony and the King coming up right after we take time out for this.
Are the Kaufman-Lawler matches banned by copyright? No. It's hard to find complete stuff, but if you're interested in that, F. Wood, there's the very first, I think, wrestling stream that I did, we watched a playlist that more or less told most of the story between Lawler and Kaufman. I think it's like Andy Kaufman in Memphis is getting high and watching Andy Kaufman in Memphis. Or actually, it might just be watching Andy Kaufman in Memphis now.
But before we get to it, here's the guy that's been...
Which isn't to say that we can't watch it again sometime. I mean, it's not a... I thought it was really entertaining. I think that's how some of the regulars here actually found the channel. Eddie, I think, was in on that stream, maybe, and was telling stories about his actual like time in Memphis.
Jerry Lawler in action.
Soul Train Jones.
I believe there's something going on around
here. Look at this outfit he's got on.
I don't know if you're behind it. I don't know if Jerry Lawler's behind it. I don't know if Eddie Lawler's behind it. I don't know who's behind it. I want the cameraman to zoom in on this hat here. I'm not very happy with what I see here. It says Bruno.
People who make their own hats. Ruby Spacek, Bruno.
The weasel. Well, I'm not happy about it. If I see anybody wearing this hat...
I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan. Not just from the wrestling, but like his art style to me is like peak art.
You're going to get a lawsuit. When I find...
And a good example of what happens if you're somebody who has an outsider art style and you make it big. Like, he was able to roll with it really well and still make interesting stuff. But I feel like it kind of hurt him too because he couldn't get away with as much stuff because everybody knew who he was. Kind of like a Jackass or... I'm not comparing them to his talent, but I'm just saying, like, remember that show with Ashton Kutcher? They'd always have to change the people in the show because everybody would get recognized.
Who put out this hat? They're going to get a lawsuit. If I see you wear one...
Taxi, yeah. Taxi was like Andy Kaufman's Lol Cow Live. He did the, like, shit that made the money so that he could do his, you know, wacky nonsense on the side. What's up, Ember?
You're going to get a lawsuit. If I see Dave Brown wear one of these hats, he's going to get a lawsuit.
Like, I think, what's his name? What the fuck is that guy's name? How could I'm so out of it this morning. What is that guy's name that he played? The singer, the lounge singer. Tony Clifton. Tony Clifton is one of my all-time, like, favorite, like, art bits ever. I think Tony Clifton is fucking hilarious.
If I see any redneck goofball kids wearing this hat, they're going to get a lawsuit. Is that clear, Lance Russell? That's the special...
Tony Danza? Hell yeah. I'm a big Tony Danza fan.
Bruno is a weasel hat, huh? All right, you going to rub it in? You going to rub it in? I
love it. They should have one since Lance Russell was Banana Nose. Remember that? Okay.
Oh boy, listen to that. He brought back Banana Nose. What's up, Michael McCafferty? I'm feeling better today.
Remember that. Now then, enough about that. I'm disgusted about it. I'm going to put a stop to it. Like that. But let me talk about something that's making me happy instead of what's making me miserable. Everybody's talking about Jerry Lawler's coming.
George Dorinda was like, hey, why watch primetime when you can come and live it? And I was like, all right. And then he introduced me to Mary Lou Dragon, and the next thing I know, I'm in the ER.
Coming back. Jerry Lawler's the king. Jerry Lawler's coming back on top, see? Jerry Lawler wants to beat a man. Well, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And here's the man right here, Boy Tony.
Boy Tony.
Right here today on TV, in front of 20 billion people or whatever, this man here is going to humiliate Jerry Lawler. Tell him, Boy Tony.
That's right, Lance Russell. I believe I have more talent in my little finger than Jerry Lawler has. He's the queen of wrestling, and I'm going to beat him right here today and become a top contender in the whole world.
That's right.
Okay, well, all I can say is everything you say here, he's got to pay for right in the ring, right in there.
Okay, let me ask you this, all right? This is 1987. I don't know what year that video we watched was, where I think that was in the early 90s, where it had the guy with the red hair and the thing on his face, the men's rights activist. What do you think that Boy Tony is taking a similar approach to Red Pill? Because even though he's playing like obviously like an effeminate aura character, he's very like he challenges everybody's masculinity. So maybe it's like a Red Pill thing, like that guy from the show.
You just watched the match and see. Boy Tony.
Yeah, that's Ric Flair's.
The new king of professional wrestling, the drag king.
Okay. We're ready for it.
Cleaning up after vomiting human? No, that wouldn't be fun.
All right, to the ring goes. You'll be out here. If you'll go on over there, we'll get right on to it.
Oh my God, I have waited to tell you guys this story. So if you are on a device where you can do it, there's a account on YouTube that's called Ravenite, like Raven and then ITE, Ravenite. I don't know if that's the real Raven or not, but when I was in VP's chat late the other night, I think it was Wednesday night, Ravenite came into the chat and started telling people, like, he started talking to VP, and after a while he was like, you know, just so you know, I'm Raven, I'm Scott Levy. And VP freaked out and was like, oh my God, you know, you cannot dox yourself in this chat, you're screwed, whatever. And then I started to believe that it was really him because he really started talking like Raven. It was either really Raven or it was like a guy who was a really good Raven troll. So I started like fucking with him and like being like, VP, what about Raven? And then he started liking it. And then he started telling everybody in the chat how much he liked me. Then he started donating to VP, mentioning me. And then he just disappeared from the chat. But it was really weird. He was in there for like hours. Vegan Patriot took a call one time while he was there, and I told him, I was like, hey man, you better be careful. That's Tommy Dreamer on the phone. He's trying to cock block you. I think he was either drunk or high. You think Lawler's going to put over Boy Tony? Does Boy Tony have a win over Lawler? I don't think so. Memphis Vice has a clean pinfall win over him. But what about, I don't think, okay, hold on. Tony Falk wrestled Jerry Lawler on a 1986 episode, but he didn't win the match though, I don't think. Because he was on like that was during his like, I never win a match gimmick. That sounds terrible, He-Man. Yikes. Is this show being lit by a candle?
Boy Tony and Bruno over on the left of your screen. Boy Tony out of St. Louis, Missouri, 241 pounds. Over on the right, Memphis, Tennessee, 234 pounds. The King, Jerry Lawler. One fall, 10-minute time limit match. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw a meme one time that said, like, it showed an ad from something and it said, like, 4 out of 5 people suffer from diarrhea. And then it was, like, had a picture of somebody, like, smiling on the toilet. And it was, like, the one person who enjoys it.
Bell sounds, and here we go.
Oh,
Here we go, he's right. Boy, Lawler is out of there storming. Now, Jerry's trademark is, and he doesn't mean it to be that way, but it just seems like it. Jerry's normally a slow
look at him get
starter
into it with
any
the
day.
crowd.
Yes, he is. However,
Bruno may have brought out the best in him.
he may have brought out the best, the best in him, and also, last few matches, Lawler has come out kind of with a mission. Hasn't been quite that slow getting going. He's got, boy, Tony back into the ropes here, fires him into the ropes cross.
What do you guys think about matches? Like, I know that in reality, Boy Tony is a big heel at this time, but, like, realistically, like, you know, getting a clean win or whatever, probably not going to happen here. But do you guys like it when they bring, like, if they were to bring out, like, Cody Rhodes and have him wrestle like a really low-level guy and just come out and, you know, have a more or less a squash match, like a non-title squash match? What do you guys think about those? I like them. I think they're interesting. But I like squash matches. But I feel like if they brought... I don't like it when sometimes AEW will do that. They'll put, like, a top guy with, like, a bottom guy. But they feel like they have to give the bottom guy, like, make him look good in it. Whereas just, like, you're already looking good. The fact that Boy Tony has a match here with Jerry Lawler kind of signals to me that, like, hey, Boy Tony's somebody... you know, that we should keep an eye on. That's how I feel if somebody gets a squash match with like a super top guy. But I guess they don't really do them anymore, except for like do they still do those like beat the clock or race for the gold or whatever?
Away.
George South.
Tony saw him when
Thanks, Eddie.
he was coming out of the slingshot effect there and grabbed a hold of the ropes, and that saved
Boy Tony gently moves his taint to the side to signal that he's about to Hulk out.
a big knot on the jaw.
It's more or less just kayfabe, ATF media. It's like the idea that like Boy Tony, if Lawler was the champion, could probably get a title shot here because he's like, what, maybe top 2 or 3 heels in the company. But if he were to wrestle, like when he wrestled Tony Falk the first time, like they would say non-title just because like the fans in the crowd would be like, now wait a minute. Now, if Jerry Lawler just wants to kick Tony Falk's ass, I understand that. But what did Tony Falk do to earn a title shot? Like titles, even though they don't seem like they mean much here because they're kind of like more of a prop in Memphis, like they did have value to the fans. And that's why you could bring in a belt that didn't even exist and the fans would respect it. You could be like, oh yeah, he's the he's the Caribbean ladder match champion, and people would be like, oh shit, this guy is serious. So I think it's just kayfabe to try to protect the belt a little bit. You don't want like you don't want Jim Jameson getting regular title shots.
I didn't see him doing either one at that particular time, however, Bruno.
How about running after? That's a third.
Running after Boy Tony, that's right.
It wouldn't surprise me, Eric W. Rocky King. I love jobbers, but I grew up in the 80s, so like I have an affinity for like Iron Mike Sharp, and by the time I got around to him, like even like Pedro Morales was pretty much a jobber. Tony Gurria. Remember that one guy, Rene Goulet? I always like seeing him lose. They actually, I could be wrong, but I think a bootleg, I'm not going to say bootleg, but you know what I mean. It's an independent wrestling figure company. The figures don't match like Mattel or anything, but they made 2 different Tony Falk figures. They made him in the white with his like 2-strap, and then they made a Boy Tony. But I think they're kind of like the old LJN figures, which I'm not a big fan of. But for something like that, it's kind of neat to have it, I guess. George South. Doesn't he have a podcast now with he's not the one that's with Mario Mancini, is he? Somebody's with Mario Mancini.
Bruno comparison, is almost dressed up today, Dave. You notice that?
Yeah.
He's got a neat little hat on. And...
Yeah, some boots. Yeah.
The Sandman. When have you ever seen me drink on stream? I think I did on Twitch sometimes, but not very often.
Not quick enough.
What a giant mistake boy Tony just made. Tony is not that fast anymore with all that weight he carries around. And Lawler saw him coming a long way off and just moved. Minor
8,300 consecutive losses. That's cool. It kind of ties in with 83 weeks.
setback, says Bruno.
Certainly. Well, Lawler.
I got a comment deleted yesterday, by the way, in the Eric Bischoff chat, which I was very upset about. They had Jason Hervey on there, and I typed in that Fred Savage is the star of the Wonder Years, because Eric Bischoff said that Jason Hervey was the star of, and I corrected it in chat, and I said, no, Fred Savage is the star. Almost immediately deleted.
Right after Bruno.
I mean, look at them. Look at the crowd, dude. They're nuts for this.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Lawler, Boy Tony backed into the turnbuckles. Referee Jerry Calhoun says, King, you got a break. We want him out of the corner. Lawler fires him across the way. Hey, Tony moved, but Lawler caught himself.
I probably would have got banned. I think they're remembering me because I've had quite a few well, to me, they're high profile. If I can get them to say my name on there and mention something that I'm saying trolly in the chat, then like that's a W for me. But it's happened a few times, so maybe they're getting wise to me, just deleting everything I type now.
Not legal, but it sure was pretty.
What's up, Blazer?
Tony says, hey, look how smart I am.
Bischoff doesn't like being corrected. If you watch the video, Jason Hervey looks like Mr. Magoo. I don't know, he's wearing the most unflattering glasses. Those ones that are like completely round and the same exact size as his eyes. I don't know. I thought it was like putting on at first.
Lawler says, not so
Dude, Lawler with a beard. Don't you love that, Eddie? I wish they would make a figure with the like beard Lawler. I don't think they made a Mattel anyway.
fast. Downtown Bruno.
I don't have any burner accounts, unfortunately. I have a couple like storage accounts, but they're all like, I don't post on them or anything like that.
Wandering around down at ringside here. The manager of Boy Tony.
They're back with the F-slur chant.
Tony hanging back close to the corner. Crowd getting on him.
Saturday morning cartoon stream? Yeah, definitely. It's a matter of finding stuff that's, not going to get taken. I don't care if it gets like, I don't care if like they claim it afterward and like it can't be monetized, or if it gets blocked in Belarus and Russia. But like, I just want stuff that we can actually like finish on stream. You know what I mean? I don't really, the VOD is okay or whatever, but I mean, the VODs of live streams aren't exactly like lighting up the charts. But I just feel like some of that cartoon stuff is still so valuable and like protected that I feel like it'd be tough to find really good stuff. But we could find really terrible cartoons to watch. Doesn't Lowe already have a judge show? Or are you saying that you think Ruby should join the Lowe courtroom show as the bailiff?
I think they're calling him Fatty, weren't they?
I don't know why. The King enjoyed that one.
Is this a first? In all the time we've watched Memphis, I don't think I've ever seen a weather scroll.
Now the referee's kind of doing a number on him. Telling him about using the fist. And that will not slow him down.
I don't know about Lowe. I feel like I should that like Lowe is someone in the community that makes sense that I would like get along with, but I don't know. I just can't get into it. Maybe I'm just not watching the right streams. Or maybe it's just being on stream with Ruby is like, it's a lot to match.
Tony wants to be declared the winner here. He said, hey, he hit me with a fist, and you should disqualify him immediately.
I highly doubt that you're confused about that.
Calhoun had to have warned Lawler about using the fist already.
I think they're chanting it in for the obvious reasons, but also because Tracy Smothers kept saying it to him during their feud, and I think he kind of got it over. Like in Smoky Mountain, they always got him to chant Paula at Paul Orndorff. You know who did that too is Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin. Ooh, man, look at that punch.
Straight in the right hand. Stoney popped him a good one, but Lawler came right back and blasted him one.
That crowd, dude.
All he knows how to do is punch. Is that all he knows how to do is punch? I'm sick and tired of the fist. He don't know how to do nothing but punch. He can't wrestle. He should be a boxer. I'm sick of the fist. I'm tired of the fist. Come on, Muhammad Ali and Jerry Lawler.
There's a Glow DVD. I think all the episodes are up on YouTube. I think I've seen them. That's another one that I'm kind of iffy about.
Think of it.
You're not nearly as tired of it.
I don't think I've ever heard her Low impression, but I don't really know what would a Low impression be like, I guess.
His boy Tony.
Does she have like mannerisms or something that I don't notice? It seems like she's just kind of like very, like she just seems like she's couch locked, like brain locked all the time.
He is Bruno. Oh, they got the weasel chant going.
Drops down. The fist was doubled again.
Ruby dressed as a cop would actually, yeah, that would work. She has that kind of like 90s alt girl aesthetic. I feel like the dressing up like a cop would probably work all right.
And again, the referee is warning him about it.
Third time he's been on Jerry about using that fist.
We have passed the 5-minute mark in this one. Lawler.
I mean, as somebody who's only really gotten into Memphis when we started with 86, like, you hear all the stories about, like, how over Lawler was and how hot Memphis was. And, like, it's impossible to understand unless you watch these videos. Like, no matter what you think it's like this crowd is just week after week after week after week. It's just so, they're just hot for everything.
Boy Tony. With downtown Bruno in Boy Tony's corner. Oh! Another mistake by Boy Tony. Lawler moved, and Tony's fist ran right into the mat.
And he was hammering him. Yeah. Really going to hammer him. One fall, 10-minute time limit match. Boy Tony and Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh! Look out. Bruno from outside with a choke on the King. After Boy Tony had hit him with a fist.
You're asking for it, Bruno.
Lawler hit again by the right fist. Boy Tony. Ooh.
Boy Tony.
Really got loaded on
nice.
the right side. Another right hand.
Back of the head punch. Oh, shit. Get out of there, man. Oh, perfect.
One more.
Oh, Bruno trips him. Look out. Boy Tony goes down. Lawler had moved.
We said you were asking for it, Bruno.
Oh,
Sunset flip. Lawler's got him. 2, 3.
amazing.
Yeah.
King gets him, but look out. Goliath. And Big Bubba out here. Goliath in the ring.
What? I was gonna look it up, and then I remembered it. I think it's Flex Cavana. Wasn't that it? Or was that his first name in the WWE? No, I don't think he came in as Maivia, right? In that awful outfit, and then they changed it. I think it was Flex Cavana.
He takes a swing at Lawler. There's Big Bubba. Big Bubba got him. Look out, Bubba and Goliath. Double teaming on Lawler.
I don't know why, but the whole time I was trying to figure it out, I kept thinking about Johnny Hotbody from ECW. I kept thinking that The Rock's name was like something Hotbody or something weird like that.
Lawler moves and they run together.
Hey, Richard.
And the King out of the ring leaves both of the super heavyweights lying there. Lawler with the victory in the match, 6 minutes, 59 seconds, and the victory after the match, too.
Bubba saying, I thought you had him.
Yeah, Big Bubba going in the Hall of Fame. I'm so happy for him to be going in while he's alive. I wish Tenna could have went in while he was alive, but we had that whole conversation, I think.
Goliath saying, I thought you had him. It didn't work out that way, and downtown Bruno, you want him. Oh, really? Hey, let him go. Maybe Jerry will come on back out here. I'd love to see it. Bruno's stripping down. Oh.
They should bring him back so that he can be part of the Rhodes bloodline in a big collision with Roman Reigns' bloodline.
That massive body. I can't stand it.
I tell you what, I think that right hand Lawler hit him with knocked something loose up there. You know?
You got that right.
Wow.
Big Bubba holding downtown Bruno. Yeah.
Jeez.
He had a lot of nerve and he had a pretty good right hand, too. But you're the one you're talking
He got a lot of nerve laying his hands on me last wrestle. This is only beginning. He's going to pay for that. He's going to pay. He got an awful lot of nerve touching downtown Bruno. He's going to regret the day he ever hated you. That's right.
Okay, downtown Bruno, manager of the... I hear you, Bruno. As they lead him off, the final official decision was that the King is the winner. What was that time again?
6 minutes, 59 seconds.
6 minutes,
6:59.
59. We got more of that big action coming up, and we're going to be back to Championship Wrestling in a moment.
I had another John Tenta in Japan match for us to watch. I could try to find it. Oh, also the video that we couldn't find last stream, it was called I Need Your Help in the Shower live stream. It did not get deleted, and in fact, it looks like, from what I can see, the entire stream is up in the members, in their members section, but I'm not going to buy a membership to watch it.
Okay, big Wednesday night action at Evansville Coliseum, brother. You got one coming up. Downtown Bruno's hair will be going in the
Oh my God, I found a video called My Mother-in-Law Found Out About My YouTube Channel.
match when Bubba and Goliath go against Jerry.
Yeah, well, let me
Travis.
tell you something, Evansville, Indiana. You saw Jared and Travis make me a cake made out of X-Lax. You saw them punch me in the face, but you ain't gonna see them
Okay, how about this one? How about Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Gordy, the Miracle Violence Connection, against Tenryu and Stan Hansen? That's got to be a good match, right?
in my head, and we're gonna walk out of there with the Southern Tag Team titles. That's about all I got to say to these hillbillies.
Evansville may see it. Ball Bruno will see. Hey, listen, there's going to be a match between the world champion Nick Bockwinkel and Soul Train. The champ had this to say.
Mr. Law.
I also found a few shorter Vader matches in Japan, if you guys want to watch those. Because we'll probably have some time at the end of the stream, and I probably think you guys would rather watch wrestling than Savvy Guy.
Maybe what Mr. Rich and Mr. Idol said, you may be an ingrate.
Since it's wrestling.
No, I don't
though.
offer my services cheaply. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world to come and give you some assist. So Soul Train Jones, as the championship committee, has seen fit that you have a shot at the heavyweight champion of the world, and I'm sure you realize that the problems I had with Mr. Lawler is just part of the overall experience that I have under my belt. So bring all your
360p,
muscles, all
as
your
always.
strength, bring everything you've got, dig, claw, and scratch. I want to keep the heavyweight title.
Following the world title match with Soul Train, you'll see a tag match you will not forget. It will be Idol and Rich going against the King, Jerry Lawler, and Bam.
Yeah, Vader, absolutely. Everywhere except one place. I mean, he wasn't like, I don't know. He had a lot of good stuff, and I still think Japan is so much better than WCW, but like, WCW looks like a masterpiece compared to WWE. I'll never forget when he was leaving, they jobbed him out to Bradshaw in like 5 seconds, and I was like, God damn it.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Nick
Idle and Rich
Bockwinkel.
had these comments to make about the match.
I told you, Jerry Lawler, you couldn't trust Nick Bockwinkel. I'm going to tell you now, too, you can't trust Bam Bam Bigelow. You're a fool, Lawler. Look at the list, and the list is endless. Idle,
Trusting Bam Bam Bigelow is foolishness.
Rich, Valiant, Dundee, and the list goes on and on. Bockwinkel, and now it's going to be Bigelow. You have no friends. Nobody likes you, Lawler, and I'm at the top of the list. As a matter of fact, I hate your stinking guts. You're not a man, Lawler. You're only half a man now. And I'm going to tell you one thing. When Tommy Rich and the greatest all-around athlete, you truly walk down that aisle to face you and Bigelow, the biggest surprise in your life awaits you. Promise.
I don't know on Nick Bockwinkel. It's hard to tell because he's another guy like Earthquake that just always seemed old. He just projected like that he was from the like George Hackenschmidt era or something to me. You know, he just seemed like super way more old school than his time.
Okay, in the ring right now, Alan
Children of the
West
Corn.
and
Oh, Don Bass,
Tanaka is not here. Jerry Garman is
Here comes South to West's father.
in with
Alan
Alan.
West.
And coming to the ring, their opponents, Dave.
You're right. This match is going to be a one-fall, 10-minute time limit match. And with Alan West and Jerry Garman at a total weight of 460 pounds. Across the way, the total weight is 532 pounds. As you're looking at the big guy over here on the far
Ain't
left.
nobody looking at that
now
guy.
on the far
okay?
right,
We're
Don
looking
Bass
at,
out of Arkansas.
Bandy.
Going with him, of course, out of Black Rock Mountain, Georgia, the Hunter. And the Hunter's mascot, Bambi, over in the corner.
I feel like Nick Bockwinkel was absolutely perfect. Like his role, the way that he played it, everything about Nick Bockwinkel was perfect, like as a performer to me. And I feel like it's what people are. I think there's been like multiple people who are kind of desperate to have that. I feel like Cody Rhodes wants a part of that because he likes to put the suits on and try to kind of lean that way in those moments. But then you have like Nick Aldis, I think, tried it. There's been people in like, I think NWA has had a couple different guys that have tried it, but like it just never works. But for Nick Bockwinkel, like it just works perfectly.
This one a one-fall, 10-minute time limit. Alan West out of Zuma Beach, California starts against the Hunter.
Well, he's a specimen, isn't he, Dave?
Well, he certainly is, yeah.
Well, neither one of them are slouches,
Yeah,
but I was talking about Alan West.
Both of them are pretty well athletically
This guy looks like Ricky Morton's big brother.
inclined and are in terrific shape. West, the heavier of the two, the bigger overall.
The Hunter, a block of solid muscle, and he's just facing a bigger block in Alan West over there. Alan, who is an iron pumper from Zuma Beach, California. And what we've seen of him, this youngster can go. Whoa, yeah, see that muscle? Well, that's how big it is, and he gets him with a drop kick, pops him down, snaps him over with the arm.
Good Don Bass.
The Hunter's got himself quite a veteran partner today, Dave.
Yeah, he does. And big Don Bass. Don weighs in at 300 pounds, 301, I think it is. He's big and he's tough, and he has been around, as you say. Hunter with Alan West back in the corner, using that opportunity to pound on him about the midsection. Alan West moves. Good balance. Boy, Alan West has looked very good every time we've seen him in the few weeks that he's been in the territory. Bar on the left arm. Good little half twist on it. There, he gets the Hunter down to the mat. Shoulders are down. The referee started to count. Allen, with his feet in the position they're in, not able to hold the shoulders down when you got a guy with the upper body strength that the Hunter has, but gave him something to think about anyway. Here comes big Don Bass.
Whole different style when you wrestle a guy like Bass, because he is, he is not the muscular body that the Hunter has. He's a block, and I mean plenty of it. This guy runs right at 300 pounds, and it's a different kind of a strategy, and we'll see how Allen copes with him. Not very well at this second. Oh, yeah. Nice maneuver. The Bass, look at the veteran.
Yeah, heads for those ropes, leans out to get the break. You know, that's an excellent point you have made. The total different style between the Hunter and Don Bass, and it's got to take you a moment to adjust.
Is this the, like, let's cool the crowd off after the Boy Tony, Jerry Lawler fiasco? Because, like, this is, I mean, I'm not a big Don Bass fan in general, but there's not a lot behind this match.
To those different styles, and there's part of that style, a right fist by Bass. Oh, look at West. He's got some
The original, yeah, he does. He kind of looks like Otis.
upper body strength
Body
too, doesn't he?
type.
If he can body slam 300 pounds that easily.
I think the issue with that, F. Wood, and I mean, I kind of agree in theory, but once Cable was coming in, if he didn't do it, somebody else was going to. Like, Joe Blanchard was, like, right there. Crockett certainly, probably, if he could have had the right person in his ear, could have done it. And once you have national TV, you can't protect the territories anymore. Like, you know, oh, this guy, they've announced that so-and-so is coming in Portland on X date, and he has a big title match on the, you know, the week before here. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can't protect. The territories worked, one of the reasons they worked, in my opinion, is because most people had no idea what was going on anywhere else. So, like, you know what I mean?
Hunter coming back in. Hunter out of Black Rock Mountain, Georgia.
Ultimately, one of them was going to prove to be the most popular one, and then I just think it's inevitable at that point. Like, I think somebody was going to get that collective audience sooner or later. But I love the territories, the way that it works. It would probably get me back into wrestling if it worked this way still, where you, like, there was a regular exiting of old talent, new people going in. But when there's only so many places to work and you got to sign multi-year contracts, it kind of, like, shits on that.
Tag on Jerry Garman. First time Jerry's been in.
Another quick tag on Allen West.
Oh, absolutely, because we ended up with, I mean, I love 80s WWF, but, like, you know, could it have been better with some elements from if he would have taken, like, the best elements from everywhere instead of just taking their talent and then just, you know, putting on all-star cards for a while? I think, like, WWF as a product would have been much better if he would have used, like, you know, some of the elements from the other territories.
West, who is back.
He wasn't looking to make the strongest, best wrestling promotion. He was looking to make, like, the most marketable, profitable product, which, I mean, it's, you know, that's what gets rewarded. So I'm not knocking him for it.
Garman back in there against this Hunter. Hunter seizes the opportunity, goes to work on him, and pulls him over to their corner, over to the corner of Bass and the Hunter. That could be a key, because now Jerry is a good 10 feet away from the tag on Allen West, his partner.
Don pops the head into that turnbuckle in there, really slams him hard. Jerry Garman trying to...
He was looking to promote a company, not, like, a business. Like, these guys all kind of had to more or less, even though they were always shaky alliances, it seemed like they all kind of had to work together to keep the business up. Whereas he was just looking to, like, you know, make the most streamlined product and, you know, of what he liked in wrestling.
Crawl out of harm's way, moves right over toward the Hunter.
Hey, Jeremy.
In that corner, but
what's up, Dave?
Snaps him across the ring, catches him with a very large arm. Ooh.
Garman got it.
Boy, thank God Don Bass is getting out of the ring.
In the midsection, but Bass right back on it. Now Bass, look out, holding him up, while the Hunter let him have it with a forearm. from outside.
Yeah,
This guy had something in his eye. Bambi came over to try to help him because she didn't want any excuses. She wants the hunter to win matches against people that are at their best. So she goes over, she helps him get the get the object out of his eye, and the commentators are burying her for it. It's terrible.
we learned right off the bat from the first week she
What's
was
up?
in
It's
here.
me.
You gotta keep your eye on that little lady outside the ring, because she'll bite you like a black widow. Chinlocks him from behind with that knee planted right up there in between the shoulder blades, a little higher, and pulling back on that chin with
You
both
hearing that lady in the crowd every few seconds? It's like, let's go.
hands. Alan West a long way away from Jerry Garman. There's a whip. The hunter puts him in. Ooh, yeah. I mean, a dandy. What a drop kick. Count of one. But Jerry Garman gamely fights his way out from under it after a pounding drop kick. Nice knee lift. Jerry staggers to the corner. There's the tag on the larger Alan West.
Well, there's another example, Bob Brown, of Vince's ego with the whole trying to keep that logo. First of all, I agree. I think they were willing to, if you read about it, they didn't have an issue with them keeping it on the old content, I don't think. It was just moving forward. And even then, I think there was a lot more leeway than people really think. But remember, they went back and he was so butthurt over losing it that he went back and scrambled it on all of the old footage on there wasn't a WWE network yet, but there was a service on cable called WWE 24/7, and basically every week you got a couple pay-per-views, a couple old pay-per-views, an episode of a Legends Roundtable show, 3 or 4 house shows from you'd get one from the Garden, one from the Spectrum, stuff like that, and then maybe just a couple episodes of Primetime, and that's all you got every month. That was your whole or week or however they did it. But I forgot what I was talking about now.
Don Bass goes after Garman, dumps him down on the floor.
I got to thinking about how cool WWE 24/7 was, and I completely forgot my point.
Allen and the Hunter still going at it.
Oh, but yeah, he blurred it on all of them, and it looked awful. It looked terrible. And then they put the worst, wouldn't you think this is a multi-billion-dollar company? Pay the rights for the fucking music, dude. How much is Jimmy Hart really asking for some of these songs, they picked the worst music to put over the top of it on some of that old stuff. It completely takes you out of it. It's ridiculous. I would think you'd want to present even your older product in the best possible light. But the shit with the blurring, it was so petty by Vince.
At center of the ring. Referee trying to break up some action down on the floor as Bass rams Garman's head. Oh, look out. Here comes Bambi up from behind, jumps on the back. That's going to be a disqualification as West just getting ready to slam Bambi. And the Hunter gloms him, says, come on, let's get out of here. And Bambi goes flying. The Hunter, and here comes Don Bass. It's a disqualification, though. It is going to go to the team of Alan West and Jerry Garman.
5 minutes, 54 seconds to time on it. West and Jerry Garman do get the victory here over the Hunter.
No, that's the Hunter. He looks like him, though. Yeah, again, you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company. I understand it if you're some wrestling company that has to edit your shit for YouTube. I don't get it. I mean, now I think it's those rights deals are negotiated differently to where you get it for future media and stuff like that. But it really sucks to be watching something and it's oh, here comes this iconic song, in Mid-South, Junkyard Dog coming out to Another One Bites the Dust, and instead it's this weird elevator Muzak version.
His partner Don Bass.
Yeah, it was an interesting match up until the point that Bambi decided to take part in it, and I think that Allen is finding out that this neck of the woods gets a little rough and tough. I'm glad you won it. I know, Alan, you weren't particularly pleased with the disqualification, but hey, you're looking good in here. We're delighted to see that.
Well, it seems to me, Lance, when I started this match, it was 2-on-2.
That's right.
And why can't they keep the rules straight?
Well, that's because the hunter, you had him in trouble. She decided to interfere and jump up on your back. I noticed that you didn't have any hesitation. You turned around. We're getting.
This guy looks exactly like what a pro wrestler should look like. He's not bad in the ring, and yet I just don't care. Like, he's not very good on the promos. He's not been able to, like, get me, like, invested in his character at all. I just don't connect with him at all. At least he's kind of reminds me of JT Southern. He's much better in the ring, but, like, if you could take JT Southern's, like, look and put it with this guy's in-ring ability, and then JT Southern's just, like, you know, dumb guy charisma, I think they'd be a good combo.
Ready to glom her when he nailed you from behind.
Magnum TA? No, that's normal size condom TA. They couldn't afford the Magnum.
Well, Lance, there's no room for a lady in the ring with me. If she wants to get in there and fight like a man, because that's how I fight.
Oh, boy. So this is a good guy, and his answer to the fact that this woman is cheating in the matches is that he's going to fight her. He wants her to come up and knuckle up in the ring. Like, what?
Hunter and Bambi, next time, any one of you lay a hand on...
At least Ken Shamrock, though, like, he had that, like, just crazy personality, so even if he wasn't good at promos or whatever... Do you guys remember when he had that angle with Aaron Shamrock, his sister? And they had that scene outside the ring where he was, like, screaming at her, and then she was supposed to hit him, but she didn't. So he stood there just looking at her, and the cameraman's watching him. And then finally Ken Shamrock is like, slap me. Just loud in a normal speaking voice, slap me. And then she slaps him. It was so bizarre.
Me, from behind, I'm going to knock your teeth out, man or woman.
Okay, Alan West.
It took me a little bit to get into JD Costello, like, but again, like, you're on TV, you're working with, like, your heroes, you're going to be, you're living out your dream, basically, right? As a fan, you're in Memphis in the 80s. Like, I'm sure he was nervous, but, like, once he got his feet under him, same way with Bruno. I feel like Bruno was a little bit off for a little while, but he caught on, like, super quick. But yeah, his promo sucks.
Didn't take him long to...
Which, if you moved him maybe to, like, you know, to Crockett, you could put somebody with him, you know, to kind of, like, Dusty and Magnum were kind of together. But Magnum was good on the mic. This guy, I don't know, he's got the look, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Maybe Paul Diamond will cut his hair.
Get around to finding out that you got to do what you got to do. We got to take time out because we got to.
Yeah, I felt like when he was first, I know you're being facetious, but I'm going to answer it literally because I like to hear myself talk. I thought he was like, it felt like he was mimicking what he saw on TV for the first little bit. Same way with Bruno. He was real heavy on all the catchphrases that, like, Billy Graham had said and stuff. But once that kind of passed and they got into a groove, like, both of them were, I think, really good.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Ooh, the medics.
Okay, the medics coming to the ring right now. As that music indicates that the Memphis Vice on their way. Medics, not the original medics, but this is a big team. And here comes Big Lou. Lou, how you doing?
I was wondering if they were going to try to pass these guys off as, like, the original medics.
Good. This is supposed to be a Memphis Vice match, but my partner Jerry Bryant's kind of under the weather. Get well, brother. So I asked one of the men in the back to be my partner for the day. So
my partner Jerry Bryant, he went up and met up with Mary Lou Dragon, and she done queefed on his face. 3rd-degree burns, Lance Russell.
Fellas, hit it.
You got you a good partner today? Okay, Lou saying Jerry Bryant.
New partner.
Is down.
Oh, look at that Memphis Vice shirt.
True, the action as it will on everybody sooner or later, takes the toll on you.
Ooh, Soul Train Jones, nice. Wow, watch this woman at ringside when she interacts with Soul Train Jones, dude. She is so happy. Holy shit. Right over here. Best hair in the business.
Oh, Train Jones stepping up to the ring. This is what it's going to be, a 1-fall, 10-minute time limit match.
I'm constantly watching the audience, especially how they interact with the wrestlers, since we talk a lot about rat culture.
Introducing from Memphis, Tennessee, Big Lou Winston, and from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Soul Train Jones. They're going against the team of the Medics out of parts unknown. And the match again is a 1-fall.
You know what else threw me off when I was trying to make my Savvy Guy video is that I was talking about Grace, and I was talking about, okay, WGP. So if you watch Grace, you probably know what those letters stand for. So I was talking about that, but I was high and I couldn't get, I kept mixing the letters up, and that really, I got it right when I did the actual take, but then I was my mind was so focused on that I was going to mess up the letters that I just ended up leaving it out of the final video.
10-minute time limit match. Medics, by the way, weigh in at a total of about 498 pounds. Couple of big guys. Lou Winston starting against him.
The ring rats in this studio are not top tier. Well, this is only one spot. They got 7. They're working 7 days a week, twice on Sundays. The Evansville rats. We're pro Evansville in this chat. We're Evansville simps.
Lou wasted no time running one of them out of the ring with a good drop kick. Boy, he knocked him down to the mat, and the Medic took the opportunity to get out of the ring and walk around on the floor to get back to his corner. Kind of trying to slow the tempo down just a little bit.
Yes, I guess. We're talking about Jerry Bryant being under the weather, Dave, and
that sounds like a Simpsons joke. Like Lou be like, "Hey, Lance Russell, were they saying boo Winston?" He's like, "Oh no, Big Lou. I think they were saying Lou Winston."
And you and I were talking just a moment ago in there. It's a funny thing that the people. It is really strange as long as we've been around wrestling. When a guy gets hurt, he kind of just disappears from the scene, and what he does is go to his hometown or whatever and recuperates and all, and the people don't hear anything about him, and he just kind of disappears from the scene. I'm not into...
Founder at a strip club, that's one of the best places to find people. Jonesboro Rats.
Whoa! Soul Train.
I really like the, I hope one day we can, well, we're definitely going to try it sometime. Hopefully we can actually watch Smoky Mountain. Some of the town names in there, and I really started to get, let's have a parasocial relationship with some of the towns in Smoky Mountain, because Jim Cornette would really play it up. He'd be like, I remember one time he accused the fire department was always the ones running the shows in this particular town, and Jim Cornette got into a feud with their fire chief, and he basically called the guy an arsonist and said that the chief was responsible for the fires around town and stuff like that. And then he'd come in and the fire chief would be the special guest referee or whatever. But the towns in Smoky Mountain sounded so small and with it just sounded like they were places with no population at all, but I guess they did.
Had to get up quick. Did it again with a nice drop kick. We had an incident seeing that drop kick that involved a match that took place with John Paul, outstanding young wrestler from Minneapolis, going against Goto. Goto caught him with a vicious drop kick, and it ended up in...
Well, nobody looks big compared to Virgil.
And John Paul having to be operated on.
Virgil humbles everyone.
We're delighted that he's up and about again, but those things happen and you just don't see them. The people don't really know what the guys are having to go through in recuperation and all of that.
That's true.
Big Lou back in the ring again.
Okay, how about this, Randy? Average Lou will team up with Average TA, the guy who's not quite Magnum TA that we saw a few minutes ago.
Pops a medic.
2 average white dudes. Oh no, Big Lou's black. That doesn't work. 1 white guy and a black guy, both just average dudes.
Cross. Oh, yeah. That's a pretty sizable team in Lou and Soul Train.
Yeah, on both sides of the ring, you got good size.
Yes.
Good matchup size-wise, in fact. Lou went for the cover. He got a 1 count.
I don't think that has enough. That doesn't have enough snap on the name.
The slam on the medic.
Beauty. But the medic, sizable enough that he was able to kick out of it. There's the tag on the Train.
Lance is referencing it too. He's talking about how the medic was big enough to kick out.
He's on the second rope. Down. Drilled in.
Yeah, right hand to the top of the head. Got a 2 count out of him that time. Medic over to the corner. Quick tag on his partner. He's had enough. One's out of there.
Did the right thing. That's go for help, and he got it. Soul Train, the international heavyweight champion. Soul Train will be.
What was better, the original? The original by far. 2 is okay, but it's not the same. Like the first one almost feels like kind of an outsider movie to me, like in tone. The second one is much more friendly. It's trying to be liked. I think the first one they just made it, but then they like leaned into the things that the fans liked in the second one. And it's also like not as dirty and not as like, it doesn't have as much crazy stuff, which I don't like. The third one is pretty bad overall, but it has Morton Downey Jr. in it, which kind of makes it fun. And then it's like Lewis is going through like a thing where he's not a nerd anymore. He's a yuppie now. And then the fourth one is probably by most people considered to be the worst, but I actually don't think it is the worst. I think it has some really awful dialogue that's just so bad that I liked it. But I would definitely make it like 1, 2, 4, 3, with 3 and 4 being like far distant from the first 2.
Back. He is already scheduled for a match today, but when Jerry
I'm reading the Booger autobiography right now.
Was unable to wrestle today, Big Lou evidently got the Soul Train to say.
But I will say this. Everything that happens at the hotel in the second movie, I feel like is gold. Like, I think there's some good stuff in the movie. I love the Hotel Coral Essex stuff. I think that all works. I just don't think when they interact with the other people, it just kind of it didn't really work for me. But I think the song at the hotel is badass. I think that's one thing they got right. I think they matched the energy from the first movie with that. But overall, I didn't. I think it's still funny to me just because I like the characters and everything. But
hey, man, I'm right there with you. I don't mind being in 2 matches. Medic hustled in, fired across, to the elbow. Caught him good. I mean, he dumped him. What a physical specimen this Soul Train Jones is. Suplex.
oh, for sure they did. I think I was talking to somebody in the comments about this on my review of the first movie, but my VHS tape I had back from when we rented them and then copied them, it was like Revenge of the Nerds, Back to School, and Animal House, I think, all in the same tape. And I would just watch it like over and over again.
And a count of 2 again. The medic able to get the shoulder up.
Soul Train had thoughts about taking the mask off. He was encouraged by the crowd.
I know the name of the hotel is solely for like 1 5-second joke about the lights going out on the sign.
Oh, yeah, take it off. Double clothesline. Winston with a cover. 2, but a 2 count is all. Big Lou picking him up. Medic zipped a right hand into the midsection. There's another one. Winston. Body slam.
Boy.
No, ours didn't, solely because my dad would always record All My Children. So it had to be like, if you set the timer, you had to have your clock set and everything. But other than, and also like we'd record movies while we were out. But yeah, ours always had the time set.
crotched him and scooped him right up. And, you know, both of these medics are big guys. And it just never ceases to amaze me how a guy who knows what he's doing can handle somebody as Lou did.
Soul Train Jones does definitely stand out here. I mean, if you were just, if you had no other knowledge, I feel like most people would say, okay, this guy's like a big star who came here to, you know, put somebody to help out the promotion, or he's like about to leave, which is not too far off. But like, even compared to Lou Winston, like Virgil's on another level.
That medic, and look at Soul Train, a backdrop that puts him down center of the ring. Train staying around behind him.
No, he's not natural. Come on.
Grapevines that leg. Side suplexes him down. 2. He got him this time. Yeah, boy.
4 minutes, 28 seconds. Going to be the time.
I knew somebody, this is a true story. I knew somebody who's like grandma, I think, or their mom, paid the TV repair guy to come out just to like adjust like the settings on the TV. Like literally, like the, you know, the color and contrast and all that stuff. I always thought that was so bizarre.
And Lou Winston did, in fact, pick himself a very good partner.
$2.
Soul Train Jones as they get the victory over the medics.
Happily, we'll see Train back a little bit later on. Right now, though, we're going to take time out. Be back in a moment. Ooh, an action-packed 60 seconds right here, friend. We're talking about Weepin' Wednesday coming to Evansville, and I mean at the Coliseum, because there are going to be a lot of folks weeping, a lot of them smiling and cheering when that night is over with. You're going to want to be there. That's the only thing I know for a living fact. Listen to the card.
Radio
Boy
Shack
Tony
TV.
against Paul Diamond. Alan West against the Hunter. International Tag Championship when Mr. Rising Sun Sheeman, Tarzan Goto.
I'm a fan of Radio Shack because back in the day, whenever Walmart stopped carrying the things you could put on your phone to block caller ID, or you could like make it look like the number was coming from somewhere that it wasn't, everybody else stopped selling those except for Radio Shack. So like if you were a prank caller back in the day, Radio Shack was your hookup.
Against the Super.
And if you got one, the people behind the desk would usually like know, and they would if you asked them like how to record the calls, they could like walk you through that too.
Jimmy Snuka and his partner JT Southern returns. Southern tag titles
Realistic,
with those titles against Downtown Bruno's hair with Big Bubba and Goliath, and Jeff
Keith
and Billy
Pitts?
trying to put
I
the
don't
bald on Bruno. AWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Bockwinkel defends against Soul Train Jones.
No, he just I don't know. I don't even know, to be fair, if he took payment or whatever, but it was just like a funny like boomer story of like, oh yeah, you know, she had the TV repairman came out, and then like all she wanted was like the colors, you know, and the picture improved.
And then a grudge tag match of the year. We're talking about the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol and Wildfire Tommy Rich against the King and his partner Bam Bam Bigelow, all win.
Speaking of Universal Heartthrob, how about that clip of Grace singing Greta Van Fleet? Let's go.
Wednesday.
What an all-time classic. Oh no, I haven't heard that
Okay,
before.
to the ring we go.
And
For a second, I thought you were talking about a Memphis wrestler named Heath Kitts. But yeah, I've never heard of them. I remember Realistic, though. I think they had an interesting, like, looking, like, obviously now it's retro, but it feels like even then, like, their logo had kind of like a little bit of a retro vibe to it.
this match is going to be a one-fall, 10-minute time limit
TV
match. Introducing
kit.
a total of 474 pounds out of Bartlett, Tennessee, the Bryant brothers, Robert and Randy. And going against them in a total of 821 pounds. From Atlanta, Georgia, Big Bubba. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Goliath.
Miami, Florida. Big Bubba's from Miami, Florida.
Big Bubba's from Miami, Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I know.
Downtown Bruno is over here at the table. He is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, too.
That's exactly.
Don't you hate it when Bruno's right?
I sure
Boy,
do.
I do. It's rare, I can tell you that.
Once a lifetime we'll give him, right?
Yeah.
Always right. That's called well done, not rare. Sure.
Build your own TV? That's interesting. Maybe, I wonder if somebody's like, I would think they'd almost have to have, everything's on YouTube, it seems like. Maybe somebody found like an old one and like put it together. That might be an interesting video.
Look at this guy in here. Give me a break. Give me a break. Look at these people. wish we had some competition on television, you know what I mean? The people out there, you know, we want them to see us beat somebody, not beat two non-entities, not beat two nobodies, because that's what you got here, two nobodies. You probably don't even know what their names are, Lance Russell, because I certainly don't.
Well, I don't know that it's going to make their day, whether you know their name or not, Bruno.
Oh, Lance Russell, if I managed them, they
I talked to Grace this morning. She sent me a link to a really interesting content to share with you guys.
would be the happiest two Rugrats on the face of the earth, but they know that they don't have a smell
The
when it
watch
comes to
TV
time
combo.
Bruno, because that's just the way it is. Look at this.
We had a boom box that had a little black and white TV in it that like you could take to the beach, but that was about it.
Poor guy.
Robert Bryant, head going
Yellow's
into the
right.
turnbuckle
Yellow's
there.
right. See on his knees and on his wrist there, yellow. Yellow's his color. Look at his card. Boom!
Mighty Goliath holding, Big Bubba pitching, and Robert Bryant was the recipient. Boy, he is peeled across the ring by Bubba, and there's a tag on Randy.
Oh, yeah, baby. That ain't
Hard
the
on
only
the
tattoo
referee.
he's going to have when this match is over. Believe me, he's going to have a lot of black and blue tattoos up and down his body, brother. That's what turns us on, see? Because beating these guys don't mean nothing because they are nothing. It's like beating nothing. You got to hurt them. You got to make them suffer, which is what we're going to do to all the competition, if you want to call it that. Billy Travis, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Lawler, the
bro.
Memphis Vice, Soul Train Jones, Alan West, whatever. There is no competition here. And what little competition there is, we're going to eliminate it. Then we're going to make a challenge, like I said before, and I'll say it again, to anybody that wrestles, that boxes, that fights,
Man,
plays
that
football, plays
suplex.
frisbee, plays checkers. We want to fight you. We want to hurt you. We want to eliminate the competition. Get all the belts. Then we'll just shine them up, give them to our female friends, let them shine them up for us. And maybe we'll just have to go around beating up on each other. There ain't nobody else for us to beat up.
You can tell ATF Media is worked up by this match because he says fart on his knee pads, plural. Normally he singles out for like fart on his left knee pad. This time he wants both of them.
Maybe we'll beat up on you and Brian, whatever. Maybe we'll beat up on Jerry Calhoun just for fun. Maybe we'll just tear this ring down with our bare hands and leave it laying there.
The knee pads must stink. The knee pads smell like Eddie Kingston.
So nobody else can wrestle. Then we might have to beat up these guys on the concrete or wherever this surface is. You know what I'm saying, Lance Russell?
Hey, Bruno, I don't want to be rude or anything, but you know, you don't have to talk all the time. You could let us do a little commentary.
What if I told you I got paid by the word? Would you believe me?
Yes, as a matter, I
what?
don't want to be rude or anything, but you know, you don't have to
Oh,
talk all the time. You could let us do a little commentary.
What if I told you I got paid by the word? Would you believe me?
I don't want to be rude or anything, but you know, you don't have to talk all the time. You could let us do a little commentary.
Wow.
What if I told you I got paid by the word? Would you believe me?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I believe it. And this is the man who said to me, I'm concise when I talk. I'm concise.
I am, brother. To the point.
As Gorilla Monsoon would say, brain that makes me glad I'm retired.
Baby, to the point. Look at this. Speaking of to the point, see this guy in the ring, he was saying earlier how he was a good wrestler, you know, I overheard him talking.
The
He didn't think I
teabag.
was around. He said he was a good
F-word.
wrestler. And you know what? He has a point there, but see the way he comes his hair, you really can't notice it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
Jeez.
obviously the Bryant brothers with a major task when you face a couple of guys who are as huge as Big Bubba and Mighty Goliath.
I just gets boring watching this because I'm used to seeing these guys destroy their competition. I mean, the Don Connection got them 14.
This is what they should be showing on Raw or SmackDown or whatever to get it over. But I know Vince didn't like to do that it was all about what they did in WWE. But I hope that now that we're under like a new regime that like maybe that'll start to change. But imagine if they showed this shit on WWE TV, people would be mind blown. Don't you think so? If the modern fan saw like Tugboat just beating the shit out of people and doing these crazy strong style moves, like I think people would be like way more hyped for it.
Do Kane's strategies, you understand? So I kind of amuse myself by looking at all these funny-looking people in the crowd because I never seen so many ugly women and.
It was the guy's fault. I mean, you're supposed to hit with your heels first, but when you're being thrown at an angle like that, like, oh man, that was rough looking.
Tooth varmints in my whole.
I can't get it. I can't get the image of how his body just like, it was like His consciousness just left his body in that moment.
Life as I do out here today in this audience. I mean, come on. Everybody in this crowd, everybody. I'm talking about
I feel
every
bad,
single solitary person in this crowd has buck teeth, Lance Russell. Did you ever notice that? Everyone in the South has buck teeth. You got buck teeth. Why is it that everyone has buck teeth in the South? Tell me. Tell me.
Oh, boy.
Answer me. Why do they all have buck teeth?
Quit it, Bruno. You know you're just sitting here making up stuff and trying to make people mad and doing a good job of it.
They look like a bunch of beavers. They look like they should be gnawing on trees.
Bunch of beavers.
Mighty Goliath pounds Robert down on the mat.
He has a name, Robert. Maybe they should wind him up a little bit.
It happens to be Robert and Randy Bryant. Just
they cousins of Jerry Bryant, another loser, or what? Tell me. Look at this. Look at this. Here it comes, baby. Here it comes.
Oh.
Mighty Goliath off that rope, and that's it. 1, 2, 3.
Well, if you remember, it was one old guy for a long time, you know, and he didn't look like he could stop anybody. These guys at least look like they got a little bit of something. Look at this old TV over here. It's kind of neat. I mean, I don't like I'm not a big Goliath fan. I don't hate him like I do. Like I don't dread seeing him, but I guess that's at least more interesting than just a splash. But man, those ropes make me nervous. I saw a guy one time go to do the, you know how when I don't know what they call it. Maybe is it called an Asai moonsault, where you're standing on the outside of you're standing on the mat on the outside of the ropes, and then you jump up onto the second rope and like backflip backward. I saw a guy try to do that one time, and the rope snapped, and he just like power bombed himself on the concrete. It was crazy.
We weren't too surprised that the winners were Mighty Goliath and Big Bubba over the Bryants, and the time, what was it?
Time was 3 minutes 54 seconds.
Man, that guy's legs.
Again, overpowered.
Oh
The official winners, Big Bubba and Mighty Goliath.
Coming soon, Championship Wrestling presents Super Tour 87 into these fine cities: Memphis, Tennessee; Jackson, Mississippi; Hot Springs, Arkansas; Nashville, Tennessee; Atlanta, Georgia; Chattanooga, Tennessee; Louisville, Kentucky; Bristol, Tennessee; Evansville, Indiana; and Knoxville, Tennessee. It's big and coming soon. Championship Wrestling Super Tour 87. Championship Wrestling is coming to your hometown. Friday, March 20th, Myrtle, Mississippi at the Myrtle High School Gym. Also Friday, March 20th, Lewisburg, Tennessee at Marshall County High. Thursday, March 19th, Ramsey, Indiana at the North Harrison High School. Also Thursday, March 19th, Ripley.
I've been to Ramsey, Indiana. I'm surprised. Maybe it was different back then.
Mississippi at Ripley High School. Sunday, March 15th.
This
Fort Knox,
music
Kentucky
is
at the
so
Sadowski
hype.
Fieldhouse, 3 o'clock match time. Friday, March 13th. Marmaduke, Arkansas, Marmaduke High School. Thursday, March 12th. Litchfield, Kentucky, Grayson County High School. Sunday, March 8th. Jackson Coliseum.
We're touring the high schools.
Jackson, Tennessee. Friday, March 6th. Haiti, Missouri.
Who booked the venues, Lawler?
Haiti High School. Also Friday, March 6th at Northwest High School, Clarksville, Tennessee. This coming Thursday, Championship Wrestling at the Fairgrounds Arena, Nashville, Tennessee. Wednesday night, a supercard is set for the Evansville Coliseum, Evansville, Indiana. Tuesday night, Super Tuesday, as Championship Wrestling returns to the Louisville Gardens, Louisville, Kentucky.
Joe LeDuc bleeding out all over a high school gymnasium. I've seen Necro Butcher in a death match in a high school gymnasium before. Well, not a death match, but like a strong style match where he got his head busted open.
Monday night, it's the Great Showdown at the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis, Tennessee. Remember the Great Showdown Monday night in Memphis. Tonight, Championship Wrestling returns to Bowling Green, Kentucky at the Warren East High School. Next Saturday, a supercard in...
It's an incredibly smart business move, because they're gonna do all the work for you. Like, you're gonna probably, honestly, what happened is they probably sold these shows for like a flat amount of money, and then the school is using it to, like, this is what Cornette did with Smoky Mountain with the fire department. They would pay for the show and then use the money as use the show as a fundraiser for the fire department. So it was like a win-win for everybody.
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Like, it's weird to us now, but at the time, it completely normal. Like, even in the early to mid 2000s, I was still able to go to quite a few, like, shows that had decent sized, like, name people on them that were in high schools or little community rec centers. I think the most popular venue at the time for indies at that time, though, was the Armories.
Don't miss the greatest stars in wrestling. And remember, coming soon, Super Tour 87.
Oh, but like the high schools too, since it was a sold show, they would do all of the advertising and all of like the local sponsorships and stuff like that. So like really all you had to do was bring your show to town and put on a show, and that was it. Randy Hales. What's up, Cody Turbo? I started Randy Hales' book. I need to finish it.
This is going to be a Southern Tag title match. Jeff and Billy are charged with the responsibility of beating Bubba and Goliath, so downtown Bruno loses that hair.
That's right, Lance. I think Bruno's gone a little bit too far. He's put his hair on the line to get a title shot, and there's nothing.
Put his hair on the line. Was anybody ever look worse than Billy Travis? My God, man. Get him out of here.
And myself would better like to see when Bruno's with a bald head.
That's right. Lance, get ready, because Bruno, this is what you're going to get.
Clip, 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 coming up Wednesday night. World Heavyweight Championship match. It's got to be a dream answered for Soul Train Jones. You'll be in there with tough Nick Bockwinkel.
How's it doing, Lance? Yeah.
It seemed good. I mean, Randy, to me, is somebody who really loves the business, but he's not really... I put a little bit more stock in what he says as being true, because he's not really like... He's a wrestling guy, but not a wrestling guy, if that makes sense. Like... You know, I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, it's not the most well written, but it's like certainly competent and easy to follow. And he's like, he was around for so much wrestling history. Like just him rambling to me is interesting because he knew everybody and was like around for so much, so many crazy moments.
Yes, the World Heavyweight Champ, Nick Bockwinkel, showed his true color.
Yeah, I used to go to Ring of Honor in person, Randy. I was present at every show for the Summer of Punk, except I missed the show where he lost the title and it ended. So I went to every stop on the tour and I missed the main one. I was so pissed.
Was last week, but in Evansville, Nick Bockwinkel will no longer be champion.
Well, good luck to you. That's all I can say. The international champ, Soul Train Jones against Bockwinkel. And then the final match. Idle and Rich, together.
Oh, look at
on
this,
the other side of the ring,
Lawler.
can you listen to this? The King, Jerry Lawler, and his partner, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Lance, I'm sure at this point people are saying, is there anybody that you can find as a partner that you can trust? First of all, it's Austin Idol, then Tommy Rich, and now Nick Bockwinkel. I want you to know, Bockwinkel, that I'm gonna.
Yeah, Randy, like I said, I can't promise that was Raven, but I went to the account and it looks like Raven. If it's not Raven, it's someone who really knows Raven, because I kept trying to trip him up by saying really obscure things, and he was loving it. And that's how a wrestler is. Even if you say something, like I said, VP, this guy's great. Raven is great for content. He showed his unit to Stone Cold's wife one time. And he loved that. He was like, I love this guy.
I'm going to pay personal attention.
Then he was donating money, in my honor. It was so weird.
To your match there Wednesday night too, brother. And what you did is going to be stored right in the back of my mind. And I got something for you coming too. But Austin Idol and Tommy Rich, the time for just looking for partners that can hold up their end and not get pinned is over with. I'm looking for partners now that can hurt somebody, that can do some damage, that don't mind what the people think about them. They don't mind coming in there and breaking some bones if they have to. And that's what I've found, Lance, in Bam Bam Bigelow. Idol and Rich, neither one of you ever been...
He really liked it. Somebody, one of Vegan's moderators dropped an N-word, and he really loved... He kept, applauding the person who was saying that.
In the ring with this guy or anything like him, I can assure you that.
Well, okay, I guess I should put some context. Is we had been discussing how you couldn't freedom of speech, and it was essentially established that for the most part, unless you have a personal vendetta or a personal beef with you and VP, that you can pretty much say whatever you want to in her chat. And so Raven was just constantly applauding anyone who was saying anything controversial in the chat.
Wednesday night, Evansville, Indiana. The hurting's going to start, buddy. Idol, Rich, it's over for you. The King and Bam Bam are going to do you in Wednesday night.
I got to see it.
And even though I'm a mod in there, I said, mods, ban anyone who isn't considering What About Raven?
Hey, Sue, do you believe in magic?
Wait, okay, what's happening here? Okay, first of all, what was that? What was that little thing that just happened? Did we just witness like a demonic entity or something? Also, Soul Train Jones is wrestling again, and why is there a caption on the screen that says ARG when we don't have subtitles turned on? Is this because we brought up Raven? Is this somehow connected to Raven's flock?
Soul Train Jones back into the area here. His partner Ed Mott is already climbing into the ring.
Why is it still
Jerry
on
Calhoun
there,
there, and
Help
wait
me.
for their opponents, the Japanese team.
What a disaster.
Here they come, Tarzan Goto waving the Japanese flag. Their manager Tojo Yamamoto and Mr. Rising Sun Shima. This match will be one fall, 15-minute time limit match. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
Oh man, Soul Train Jones, some ring time with Goto. That could be good.
He'll sort it out in here, figure out who's going to be starting for each team. We'll get that Japanese flag passed out of there too, please. Tojo in the corner, kendo stick in hand. Now he has the Japanese flag on the aluminum pole. Referee calls for the bell, and it's going to be Soul Train.
If it was really Raven, isn't that so weird that just randomly, like, he would be in Vegan Patriots chat, like, at the same time that I am, and where, like, Vegan is not interacting hardly at all, so it was just, like, basically the chat show while she was doing whatever she was doing. It's just so weird to me to think that of Raven, like, sitting on his phone being like, oh, yeah, let's watch this Vegan Patriot, and then putting himself over in the chat. I used to be a wrestler.
Jones starting against whom? Tarzan Goto. Goto against Soul Train. Back on the ropes, Tarzan Goto with a...
Yeah, I agree, F. Wood. I think most moderators are probably too heavy-handed. Although in the spaces I think most of us come from, like, a big motivator for getting mod is that you yourself cannot be censored in the chat, and that you can take out your personal vendettas on your chat enemies. That seems pretty, to be the case pretty often.
Chop.
Okay, I don't know how many of you remember this, but when the idea of rebooting Heroes of Wrestling first came up, if I win the lottery, we were going to build around Raven, because I thought he would have that one last run, and he wouldn't really have to do much except talk people into the building. Maybe this is like the universe giving me a sign that this is Eddie Graham in heaven helping me book by sending us Raven. What do you think? We can have Raven get us established and get us a TV deal, and then we'll have him put over Savvy Guy in his retirement match.
Upset Soul Train just a bit. He came looking for Tarzan Goto. Goto back close to the corner and put a foot outside the rope.
F. Wood, you've been booted where? In Vegan's chat or Thorpe TV? Yeah, I think in the entire, like, I don't know, I think I've been streaming again I've been streaming on YouTube since like June or something like that. I feel like we've had maybe in total like 3 instances where there had to be like active moderation.
Goto with a knee to the midsection. He goes for the...
Oh, you know what? I'm high. We've already talked about this. We already talked about it because I was saying Savvy Guy could come out, and whenever Raven is doing like his Gen X latchkey kid routine, you know, poor me, Savvy Guy would come and be like, what about Raven? What about me? What about the kind of guys who watching this video that ain't getting any box? What about Raven? That's foolishness. Like that's when Savvy Guy is going to go from like Intercontinental Champion up to the heavyweight champion levels. That's going to be like his Austin 316 promo.
The chop, Soul Train ducked out of the way. Soul Train Jones grabs Goto, whips him into the ropes, catches him with a very good drop kick, and Goto out of the ring, down on the floor. Gonna have to kind of regroup here. Soul Train, great drop kick he put on it. Goto with an insult or two for Soul Train. Soul Train over. Like he's going to come flying out of that ring after Tojo. He might do it, too. Goto and Soul Train, real strength battle here.
Well, I should say this, though. The actual match itself is going to be Savvy Guy teaming with Shelton Benjamin against Raven teaming with Jimmy. And then it's going to be just whoever gets the pinfall wins the championship. So, like, Savvy could, like, cheat and pin Jimmy or pin Raven. But I would have him pin Raven since Raven was leaving. But, so he's going to pin Raven, but in the tag team match and with, like, where Shelton Benjamin does all the work and then just kind of, like, lays Savvy Guy on top of Raven for the pin. Because we'll have to pair these guys up with real wrestlers, you know, because we need good in-ring action, too.
Yanks him down to the mat. Tarzan Goto makes the tag, and Mr. Rising Sun.
Well, then I'll know exactly what I'll do. I would immediately just I would say, well, listen, you're right. You're right. You're the champion. You're the legend. Well, you go over on the way out, but can you give Savvy Guy a little bit of heat? And he'll be like, oh, of course. And then I'll announce that I've brought in Dr. D. David Schultz as a tag team replacement. And then I think that will get the message across to Raven about doing the right thing.
Shima.
I'm open to watching Glow Wrestling. I just don't. I mean, we can try it sometime and just see if it gets taken down. But if I'm able to stream it, I would love to stream Glow. Pulled the ball, guys. Here.
Soul Train, victim of a vicious chop coming off the ropes. Count as it
okay,
one.
There it is again. It's this. Dave is furthering this victim thing. Victim of an elbow.
And two, but Soul Train able to break it at the 2 count. Mr. Rising Sun Shima looked like he almost had him, but just not quite.
I may seem chill and laid back here, but if I was being held up and my narrative, my booking was being endangered, I would absolutely have to become ruthless.
Soul Train staggered by the right hand. Shima over to the corner.
Come out and put myself over at the expense of the company.
Makes the tag.
I just have somebody shoot on him. I mean, not physically, but like, I'm just saying, like, we could just say, oh, Raven got DQ'd, so since he hit Savvy Guy with the chair, that's the title change. And I mean, if he wanted to complain, he could, but I mean, you could figure something out in the moment.
Tarzan Goto runs Soul Train's head into the top turnbuckle.
Flooded
Across the way, tries it again. Soul Train braces, reverses, and it's Goto whose head hits the turnbuckle. Goto bounced into the turnbuckle. Soul Train Jones locks that arm, feels him out of there with an arm drag. Whoa, drop kick at the 3-minute, 20-second mark. Soul Train Jones had it covered. He got a count of 1. Soul Train makes the tag, and for the first time officially, I think we're seeing Ed Maddox. Wow. Goto unloaded with a powerful chop across the chest. Ed Maddox hit this time by Shima. Mr. Rising Sun, that boot. Maddox trying to battle back. He's on his feet. He's
Raven versus Hormaxer. Unfortunately, I would... Oh, whoops. Sorry, I didn't put my camera back on. I would be willing to work with Hormaxer, but I probably wouldn't put him into any big storylines because I feel like he could bail at any time. So we'd have to have like, but he could send in promos.
got Shima. He fires him into the turnbuckles. He goes in there after him, and Shima lifts both feet and popped him with a boot right in the throat. Maddox made a tactical error there. Probably should have gone to the corner of the tag on Soul Train, who had a minute or so to rest up. But he went after Shima instead, and he's in trouble now. 4.5 minutes gone. The Japanese team trying to take control of the match.
Yeah, like I said, when he first came in, like I had only seen Goto in like some kind of like not really memorable like hardcore matches from Japan, but like I think he's carried as far as like in ring sometimes. I think he's one of the best in ring workers they have.
Soul Train Jones in here going against Goto, while Shima has Ed Maddox over on the ropes, and Tojo pounds him with the kendo stick. Look out! From behind, Shima. It's Ed Maddox. They're out here on the floor and on the interview set.
What about this, Randy? What if we just bring in different people and we'll have a bodybuilder live in studio, and then we can bring Hormaxer in via satellite, and then Hormaxer can just critique the bodybuilder. Oh my God, gross. This thing was beyond needing clean.
Shima with Maddox up in the air. Dropped him down with a pile driver. Goto. Soul Train going at it. Shima around behind him, shoves the referee down. That's going to disqualify him, I'm almost sure.
He could coach. Okay, he could coach people on how to use steroids and stuff like that. Like, I'm not trying to loop it back around to Raven here, but Raven did a series of videos for kayfabe commentaries that were called, like, Building a Wrestler. And basically, he would go and meet with an independent wrestler who was struggling, and Raven would give them a gimmick and a story and kind of, teach them a little bit of stuff. They're all awful. Every idea he had was awful on the show. But I brought that up to him in the chat, is how I think it was really him, because he knew what I was talking about. And very few people, I feel like, have seen those videos. But it's a similar thing. We could do a similar thing with Hormaxer, where he could kind of like help to like coach and mold these guys into the black pill dynamic.
Sure, yeah. Disqualification on the Japanese team as Shima just threw referee Jerry Calhoun away across the ring. But they're double teaming Soul Train. Here comes Alan West. Lou Winston, Jerry Garman. Now the Japanese team leaves. Tojo and Goto pounding on Ed Maddox over here with a stick in the flag. Lou Winston over to help him out. So disqualification, the Japanese team is going to lose it. But not much consolation at the moment, as often these disqualifications aren't, for the team of Soul Train Jones and Ed Maddox, who got beat up pretty good there toward the end. The victory goes to them. The time on it, 5 minutes, 19 seconds. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment. Pretty well well taken control of that match and looked like they were on their way to victory. But then, all of a sudden, when Allen had the Hunter back in the corner, Bambi jumped in there. Well, that's disqualification right there. So the team of Allen West and Jerry Garman
It's like having VP in chat with us. That's what she always says. She's like, "Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, but
themselves a victory by disqualification over the Hunter at Don Bass.
On Allen's back, and Allen shook her off, and he was going to bust her one man right then if the Hunter hadn't have banged him from behind.
That's right, and that's
he was about to lay into that woman if the Hunter hadn't banged him from behind, Dave.
The way that one turned out. Then it was the Medics going against Big Lou and Soul Train Jones. Big Lou and Soul Train got themselves a victory. The first time they were together as a team. Jerry Bryant, the other half of the Memphis Vice, unable to wrestle with Lou today. So Lou and Soul Train get the victory. Bubba and Goliath, well, they beat the Bryant brothers. Bryant brothers stayed in there with them for almost 4 minutes, but Bubba, Goliath, and Bruno ended up getting the victory.
Where is Pont Flair? I think Tommy Rich is in the next episode. Hopefully he'll come in. He'll make it in.
There. Then Soul Train was back, this time with Ed Maddox in that match against the Japanese we just had a moment ago, Shima and Goto. And Shima...
He was about to bust when he started banging him from behind, Dave.
Goto were disqualified in that one when they threw the referee down. So the team of Soul Train and Ed Maddox get the victory.
Yeah, boy, that's all of our time. We'll look for you next week for Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
Well, guys, we're 2 months done in 1987 now. We're heading into March now.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of Championship Wrestling.
Will I bring in Jim? Dude, if we're talking lottery money, absolutely. Of course we'd get Jim Johnston to do. And I would tell him that I want it. Hold on. I'll play it for you. What I want the song to sound like. I think it was the WrestleMania 13 theme song. Hang on. No. Maybe it was 12. No, that's not it either. I can't remember. There was it's a very specific, though, WrestleMania theme song that I want the company theme song, like the show theme song, to like line up with, but I can't find it for some reason. It's the one that Mike Tyson was at, and they used to play it over like the promos of like they'd spin the photos of the wrestlers up and then spin them back for each match. It's an amazing theme. Dirty Roads. I mean, what like what we're talking about doing is essentially what the Clowns did. They just booked all the old legends that they liked and like goofy matches against other people they liked. That's what happens at the Gathering like every year. We'll just be more like, we want to do though like a studio show. We're going to be based out of one place. Like you could come and watch it in person. And no pay-per-views, no nothing else. Just one show. Everything happens on it. So like you get the build up and then you get like all of it right on the TV show. 14. And the visual vibe would be, do you remember when it was the old WWF logo? It was the like robotic silver version that had like the laser etching around it. But that was like, it was going over like a dystopian landscape, like the desert. And then that giant logo popped up. And then it was like WWF, what the world is watching. That would be the visual vibe that I'd want.
A couple of guys are going to be involved in today's championship wrestling that I think you are going to find to be most interesting. One of them is Big Kamala, and that will be the expiration of time match.
I don't know why that. Maybe the first part of the next episode ran over, but anyway, We are now at March 7th, 1987, CWA Championship Wrestling from Memphis, but as seen by the television audience in Evansville, Indiana. Dude, the gathering, I don't know what it's like now, but it used to be like, it was epic. As long as you could like, some people are really put off by the clowns, but it's like it's a crazy place. Randy Hales has the background. You think he would hook me up with it for our show? He'd be like, well, I can let you borrow it as long as you book me. That Juggalo video, are you talking about that girl? That was a viewer disaster. I think she had one of the most negative reactions of anybody we've ever featured. What old diva would I like to come back to take her top off? See, I'm partial to Sunny, but she's unavailable due to legal problems. I feel like Stacy Keebler's too rich. We couldn't afford her. I mean, why not the Cat? Is the Cat still out there somewhere? We could. I mean, I know she already showed him, but why not? You know, if we're trying to book a Memphis territory, we can't be opposed to recycling ideas. I just get Ruby to do it. They could do it together. A passing of the torch. Ruby and the Cat.
We got a couple of guys that are going to be involved in today's championship wrestling that I think you are going to find to be most interesting. One of them is Big Kamala, and that will be the expiration of time match, the final bout that will be taking place on our championship wrestling hour today. Hello again, everybody. This is Lance Russell with another outstanding.
You think I don't know if I could book Grace. She might try to Keemstar me.
Standing hour of action, and that's what we feature. The King will be going against Kamala in our final bout. You're also going to see one of the most talked about newcomers, so to speak, within the last year, Bam Bam Bigelow involved.
Dude, how bizarre is it that like this is like almost 40 years later, and I'm actually hype for the Kamala match. Like I'm like, man, I gotta wait till the end of the episode. Like I'm so hype about it.
In a match, and the Bammer is something to see because this guy is 300 plus. He moves around like a flyweight and is quite a spectacle when you see him in the ring with that
I'd bring in Jerry Lawler.
Tattooed head. In addition to that, Alan West and Pat Tanaka will.
I'd put him over.
Be teaming up for a tag match, as well as
I'll walk in the shoes of my spiritual mentor Andy Kaufman and put over Jerry Lawler.
We'll have a chance to see JT Southern, who is returning to the area.
But he has to agree to let me build an exact replica of that Coke table, and then I'm gonna body slam him through it through the replica, and people will lose it. The 3 people that know about that table will lose it. But for me, like, that's perfect storytelling.
We'll take time out. Be back in a moment.
Foggy Dottie. We'd have to book Foggy Dottie.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
She could read poetry. The crowd should be a heel. A sensitive heel.
Florida. He got started last year in championship wrestling. He's picked up a lot of interesting experience. Let's take a look at a musical video on him.
A musical video. Yeah, she could read her poetry and they would boo her and like she wouldn't get mad. She would just be like, "Really? Really?" And then like slam her book down and then like leave. And then she'll come out next week and be like, "You know what? I'm not even going to, I'm not even going to read my poetry for you uneducated hillbillies." And then they'd cheer because they don't want to hear her poetry and then that would make her mad. And so then she would reveal she had like one poem she happened to keep on her. JD Costello. Well, I've only known him for a couple months though. Oh, hey, what's up, Get Crack? I'm gonna book Low, but she has to. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna have Teddy Long come out. Teddy Long come out and say that Low's match is against the Undertaker. Then I'm gonna pretty much bankrupt the company, bringing in the Undertaker to wrestle Low.
Now that we've seen that one, how about JT in the ring with Keith
And the
Robertson? It'll be
grandson of
interesting to
Commissioner
see.
Eddie Marlin. Now hold on a minute here. Am I losing my mind? What's happening here?
You saw JT come over the top rope. He's brand new on Championship Wrestling. He weighs 246 out of Tampa, Florida. We're ready for the action going against him.
What's happening here? Why are they acting like we've never seen JT Southern before? Am I having like a psychotic moment here or what?
And at 234, Keith Robertson out of Memphis, Tennessee. Should be a dandy. Our first look at Southern.
Well, there ain't no arm candy in the Heroes of Wrestling. Everybody's up for grabs at ringside.
Here on Championship Wrestling. And referee Jerry Calhoun watches as Robertson.
What's up,
Robertson.
E-Rod?
Oh, boy, did he get his attention, I'll tell you. JT blasted him right back with a right hand. Drives the head right down into the mat. And into the air with a power body slam. How about a 1, a 2, 3? Didn't take a...
Like, I don't get it. I felt like for a second, like, I'd lost my mind or something. I was like, that's JT Southern, right? Coming out to the same music that we just saw in the video. And then he's like, oh, our first time here from Tampa, Florida. He does absolutely have the Tampa vibe.
Oh, we're talking about 57 seconds.
Senior moment.
JT in his first appearance on Championship Wrestling.
What?
Very successful as he went against a not very easy Keith Robertson. JT,
Well, me
step
and
up
Lane,
here
I
with
would
me,
be
buddy.
hot.
Hey,
I'm
we're
hot in
delighted
this
to have
wrestling
you
right
here.
now.
See if we can get the camera around. Big, quick win in under a minute as you got a pretty big guy in Keith Robertson there. We're delighted to have you here, partner.
Oh, Lance, it's real good to be here. It's a pleasure to meet you, to be in Memphis. This is where the action is. This is where I want to be. I also want to tell you, all the good-looking women make it that much better.
Hey, we got a few around here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, good luck to you. We're going to be excited after seeing that.
Never forget, I was the first YouTuber, I think, to do a JT Southern cosplay stream.
Have action in there to see a lot more here on Championship.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, JT, good luck to you, partner. Thanks for dropping by.
And right now, to face the two gentlemen in the ring, Jim Jamison and Ed Maddox. Here they come, led by Downtown Bruno, their manager. The two super heavyweights, Big Bubba. Out of Miami, Florida, Goliath.
Well, what I especially don't understand about this JT Southern, it's first time in. I could understand it if they were like Tony Falk couldn't really come back as Tony Falk after losing to everyone in the company. So he had to be reborn. You know, he had to die at the Boy George concert and become Boy Tony. But JT Southern had a great run. right? He was super over. The crowd loved him. He, to my knowledge, never lost a match unless he lost one at the arena show or something. But he squashed everybody he wrestled, I feel like.
Out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Not so easy
Downtown
to beat.
Bruno also out of Pittsburgh, the downtown connection. Ed Maddox and Jim Jamison both out of Memphis, Tennessee. Their total weight 421. Across the way, the big guys weigh a total of 821 pounds. Jerry Calhoun, the referee. The match is a one-fall, 10-minute time limit event.
In all dead honesty,
Think about this, Lance.
I don't think, Bruno, not again this week. I'm sure you will tell us something.
Oh, man, don't you ever get sick and tired of them two?
Yeah, I think we talked about it at the time. It was like they did a really good job of protecting him because they emphasized his interviews. They emphasized his entrance, especially. Like, the fans loved it when he came out. He'd come in, he'd duck under a clothesline, catch the guy on the bounce, power slam him, and that was it. Like, week after week. And I mean, it was working. He was getting over.
Crybabies, Jarrett and Travis, whining and moaning and groaning and complaining and griping and griping. I get sick of it. Don't they realize that they're losers? Don't they realize it's just like the broad said to Rocky, the last movie. You can't win. You can't win. They can't win. I got the strap right here, which proves they can't win. I got hair on my head, which proves they can't win. I got all kind of money. I got a downtown connection with the belts, which proves they can't win. I got all these ugly-looking women crying and moaning in the audience because they can't win. I'm downtown Bruno. I got the gold. I got the silver. I got the championship in my downtown connection. I am the manager of the AWA Southern Heavyweight Tag Team Championship team because they can't win. They can't win, Lance Russell. They can't win.
Have you ever seen Cody Turbo, the Honky Tonk Man shoot interview where he talks about Bret Hart saying in his book that he didn't like working with the Honky Tonk Man because he worked too soft? And in this shoot interview, Honky Tonk Man is so petty and like vindictive. He's like, oh yeah, he put in the book, I don't like working with Honky Tonk because he's too soft. And he's like, who would you rather work with, Bret? Me, who never laid a finger on you? Or have a stroke from Bill Goldberg? And then like, he did his big, like, Honky Tonk Man villain laugh.
I think we get the idea. What you mean is they can't win. Well, that's why they have matches, Bruno, as I have oft-times said before. And they will continue to have them for the same reason, to find out. There's no doubt that in today's match, that Big Bubba and the Mighty Goliath are certainly the heavy favorites. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of a battle Jamison and Ed Maddox can give them. But as yet, they haven't been able to do much with your two super heavyweights.
Well, naturally. Let me tell you something. We trained for almost 2 weeks for this match. But when we know we have a match with Jarrett and Travis coming up, we usually watch TV, drink a bunch of pop, eat potato chips.
You're not going to make anybody believe that. You know.
See, like, I wish we could watch that clip, but we can't. That stupid Thumb Media, like, claims every shoot interview.
Oh, they're not that easy, and I don't care what
you know what I said before, and I'll say it again. Apparently, you didn't get the point. I didn't stress it enough. They can't win. They can't win, Lance Russell. Just like Jamison and Maddox. They can't win. Just like you two with me. You can't win.
I'm not so sure you're not correct about that. For a fact, into the ropes goes Jamison, and Bubba just about took his head off as he nailed him with a clothesline. Doubled him over on his back, takes him over towards the Mighty Goliath, and ended it up by slamming his head into the knees.
I don't have any idea if he had a son that wrestled.
We are the champions. Yeah, baby. Look at that. It should be apparent. Look at Jamison. He looks like a fish out of water. He looks like a fish out of water. I'll tell you what. He looks like a carp. He looks like a carp. I think Soul Train Jones will be out a little bit later to try to eat him because, you know, all the Soul Trains like to eat carp, you know what I mean? But we won't get into that right now.
Mighty Goliath in with Jim Jamison in a one-fall, 10-minute time limit match. And I think the question is, oh, there goes Bruno showing off the Southern Tag belt.
Boy, meanwhile, Ed Maddox and Jamison both taking a beating at the hands of Big Bubba and Goliath. Bubba picking Jamison up by the neck, just throwing him down in the ring.
Got a dandy expiration of time today, David, with downtown Bruno's boy Tony teaming with Jonathan Boyd to go against Soul Train Jones and Paul Diamond. That'll be a whale of a match.
Hey, that's going to be easy just like this because Soul
I thought he said Kamala was in the last match.
Train Jones and Paul Diamond are just like Jameson and Maddox. They're just like Travis and Jarrett. They can't win. Right, Lance Russell? They can't win. Oh, beautiful, baby. 1, 2, and 3. There it is, baby. We are the champions.
Okay, Bruno.
I said they couldn't win. I said they can't win. They didn't win. We got the belts. They couldn't beat us. If they would have beat us, non-title match or not, we'd have gave them the belts. But the only belts they got are the ones that hold up their pants.
I get it.
Dave, you're been told
Okay, guys. Yeah. What was the time on that one, Dave?
3 minutes, 51
I hear
seconds.
somebody calling you back there, please.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that, Dave's channel. Yeah, I swear he said, like, that's going to be the last match on the card. Or maybe he doesn't count the expiration of time match as a match on the card. We better get Kamala.
We're going to take time out and leave these happy surroundings for the moment. Wednesday, yowza, Evansville Coliseum, brother. What a night of action that's going to be. You've got plenty of it, including a Southern tag team, while Jarrett and Travis say that the loser of the fall will leave town against downtown Bruno's hair. And listen to this. Austin Idol, Tommy Rich, going against Jerry the King Lawler and Bam Bam Bigelow. Quite a partner, Jerry.
That's right. There's been a lot of talk about partners the past few weeks here in Evansville.
What a team.
We tried the jerk Nick Bockwinkel. We saw his true colors. Well, you want to talk partners, take a look at this right here. And I want you to get a quick close-up of this.
The ring
Look,
bell
Austin
guy?
Idol, Tommy Rich, take a look in those eyes.
Ruby
Yeah, the lights
can't
are off, but
win.
brother, there ain't nobody home. And this is the kind of partner I've been looking for. This is the kind of partner I want.
Ruby can't win. Lauren De Laguna can't win. Keem can't win. The city of Sturbridge can't win. The Thousand Trails campsite cannot win.
Especially in the kind of match we got this week. You got a little taste of him last week, but seems like the referee got in the way. Well, this week, there's no time limit, Lance, and no disqualification. No stopping the match. What does no disqualification mean to you, Bam Bam?
No disqualification! That means people are gonna get hurt. Bones are gonna break! And you, ref, you get my way. I'm gonna pop your head like a pinball!
Let me say something to Austin Idol and Tommy Rich right now. If you're still watching, I want you to get to a television set, and I want you to get out your recorder, and I want you to play that tape of what you did to me down in Memphis, Tennessee. And I want you to watch it as many times as you can between now and Wednesday. And the reason I want you to watch it is because I want you to know the reason for the beating that you're going to get Wednesday night.
Hell yeah.
It's time to pay the fiddler, boys. You had time to strut your stuff and do a lot of loud talking, but it's all going to come to a screeching halt Wednesday night. Because the King and this man right here are coming to hurt both of you jerks, and we're going to hurt you real bad.
We're going to hurt both you jerks. They put this cool music so that, because you're worked up from the promo, so they put this music in to kind of get you back into a good vibe to be open to the products that you would have seen advertised. What a lousy match this is going to be.
Oh, 10-minute time limit match. Introducing at a total weight of 498 pounds from parts unknown with their manager, Dr. Eddie Kovac.
Oh, speaking of the Juggalo chick, there were, in her 20-minute video, there were 7 copyright claims from the clowns on it.
Maddox going against him at a total weight of 430 pounds out of Nashville, Tennessee, Jeff Jarrett from Lexington, Kentucky, Billy Travis, one fall, 10-minute time limit match. The referee, Jerry Calhoun. Look at
Well, we're ready for the action, and the bell signifies that Jeff Jarrett is going to be going out against the medic number 1. Much bigger team, the medics, over Jeff and Billy. And we had indicated last week in our first look at the medics, this is not, of course, the original medics that we remember. In their corner, though, they haven't.
I was watching, I don't know for sure. I was thinking maybe like Starrcade 93. He had a match. It was after the debut, but he was still the Shockmaster. But I can't remember who he was wrestling against. But it was a decent little match.
Addition, we both got a card signifying that we're dealing with, yes indeed, Dr. Eddie Kovac. Dr. Eddie Kovac.
The medics never got the push they deserved. Are you talking about Ernie Eldorado? Are you talking about like the old original medics or these medics? Or is there even like, I don't know that much about like the original medics.
Last time they were here, but is joining them now. Dr. Kovac.
So most of what I know is like from Cornette's podcast and then like shoot interviews.
Seated over in the medic's corner. Jeff Jarrett. Good upper arm for the medic as he came off the rope. Medic number 1 rolling under the rope down on the floor, and Dr. Eddie Kovac calling a conference.
Oh. I thought maybe they were like, because I don't know anything about them, I thought maybe like they were a really good, great tag team. Plus, I'm really high.
He had a second opinion.
No, but I have it written down in my research thing. I think we talked about it one other time. Look at this nasty look Billy Travis is giving everybody.
Drop down with that big elbow, whip into the ropes, and the upper arm puts the medic number 2 down on the deck. Billy picks him up, hoists that big guy across the ring. Billy up on the second rope. Look at here. Drop down.
Look at here.
Doc is having problems, man.
Yeah, the doctor is not happy at all about that. His medic team really not looking too good here early in the match. Minute 30 gone.
Little switcheroo here, David.
Okay.
Oh, is it like a backyard fed?
And with the all-white outfits and the mask and all, it is very difficult to tell one from the other.
Double upper arm, and down to the mat goes medic number 2.
Oh, wow.
Nice slam by Jeff. He follows with a cover, gets a count at 2. Jeff Jarrett back to the corner, makes the tag on Billy Travis. Travis in.
A little short jolting right from Travis put that medic out. And
the Disorderlies. I should review the Disorderlies if I haven't. I think Warner Brothers put it out on like an archive DVD. I remember when I was a kid, I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember, but they had this thing called Columbia House, and you could order like, it was so cool. Like as a kid, you could just tape a penny to this like postcard and just write the numbers of like 12 tapes that you wanted. And then you were making the promise that you would buy like so many more tapes at full price, but you got the 12 for a penny. So I just sent in for them knowing I was never going to buy the other things. And one of the tapes that I got back in the day was the Fat Boys.
the other one comes in. Billy winding the arm up. Nice.
Cover by Billy Travis.
Another 2 count. Tag on Jeff. Jeff hooking up on a...
Like, you were that's a lot of money. Like, 12 tapes, if you were to go and buy them at the time, like, that's a big amount of money. But you could just rip off Columbia House by taping a penny to it.
A standing side headlock, and the medic goes to take it back up to a top wrist lock, a double. Uses the hair as referee Jerry Calhoun was over here telling Doc Kovac to get back in his chair.
What do you suppose he is a doctor of? I'm not sure.
Trying to think of what else I got. I remember that I had Sonic Temple, the Colt. What else was in that original? I can't even remember. I think there was a movie set, like the Can't Buy Me Love soundtrack, maybe.
Sure.
Is that like stealing books? I don't know. I mean, I as a now you really couldn't do it because they don't have stuff like that. But I mean, like, there's so many, like, I don't know. It's just weird that you could just put a penny on this postcard and send it in. They'd send you like over $100 worth of shit.
A slam by Billy Travis. He's yelling at the crowd.
Are you talking about like some of those book things back in the day, like the Time Life, and there were those like really nice like leather bound collector's edition books?
He may have a PhD in insult.
Get Moby Dick for $4.99 if you promise to buy 2 more books in the next year.
Jeff and Billy, who lost their Southern Tag belts, are making certain that they are always considered as worthy challengers. Boy, they're looking good today, working back and forth together.
That Time Life series of books that was like, Ruby stealing books. I remember that Time Life series. It was so amazing. It was like every book, it was like Secrets of the Supernatural or Secrets of the Paranormal, something like that. Mysteries of the Unknown. But every book was just like amazing, filled with like UFO stories and cryptozoology stuff, ghost stories.
The top turnbuckle. Dr. Kovac getting involved there with that stick.
Ruby should take the Ben approach to defending her stealing books and just say, look, can you really steal a story? Can you really steal a word? Is that even how is that you're gonna take me to court because I know a story now that I didn't know before?
Double team. Oh! 1, 2, 3.
Boy, what a drop kick he put on him. He was way off the mat and popped him down, got the 3 count, 4 minutes.
Haven't we seen him at ringside like several times and we've tried to figure out who it is and it doesn't seem like he gets any like specific camera time, and I don't remember them saying who he is, but I feel like we've seen him several times now. Wasn't he out with Rough and Ready a couple times, like a couple months back, maybe?
Minutes, 38 seconds.
He was almost over the top of his head. He went up so high with that. We've always noted that Jeff has powerful, powerful legs. The official winners, Jeff Jarrett and Billy Travis. This guy is something else. I'm talking about
Kovac.
All the way from his tattooed head to his very solid feet. Bam Bam is a spectacle unto himself. Here is Bam Bam in action.
Oh my gosh. You know, we have another Thorpe Memphis crossover. Remember the other day when Ben was having a boring conversation with, I think he was talking to Grid, or maybe Ben was just lecturing Grace, but she started just randomly doing squats in the middle of the interview. Bam Bam Bigelow used to do the exact same thing.
Bigelow. Back and forth. Hope the ring stands up to him.
And he moves around. It's amazing to me the agility that he
Who's
had.
this guy?
That's his opponent right there, Jim Jameson.
Oh,
Stepping
Jim
up to the ring.
Jameson.
Well, I don't blame him. Not looking happy. Okay, now the way this handicap match works, Dave, is that Bigelow will be down and Jameson is going to start out.
Dr.
with
Eddie
Bigelow
Kovac.
down
Wait.
on the mat. And he
Who was the guy who had the old talk show? That's Ernie Kovacs. So this is Dr. Eddie Kovacs. Okay.
will get the advantage of attacking Bigelow in that position first. Now, there he goes. Hooks around and kind of a referee's position on Bigelow. He's going to jerk his arm out and drop him down on his face. Gets a side headlock on him. It's like grabbing a hold of a bull and trying to move him around. And he's trying to turn him over now. Jameson gets behind him, chin locks him. He's astride Bigelow. And he's got him chin locked. But that neck of his is about 25 inches. And he just really didn't have a whole lot of effect on him. Jameson again, front face locks, and look at this.
Oh, boy.
Up on the shoulder. Well, Bam Bam gave him the required time to do what he wanted to do. Back slams him, 1, 2, 3. Oh, boy.
Coming soon, Championship Wrestling presents Super Tour
Oh,
87
here we
into
go.
these
Get
fine
fired
cities.
up, ATF.
Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Hot Springs, Arkansas, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, Bristol, Tennessee, Evansville, Indiana, and Knoxville, Tennessee. It's big and coming soon. Championship Wrestling Super Tour
Evansville gets the
87. Watch
nod.
for Championship Wrestling in these fine cities. Saturday, March 28th, Russellville, Kentucky at the high school gym. Friday, March 27th, Boonville, Mississippi at
Boonville.
Northeast Junior College. Thursday, March 26th, Oklahoma, Kentucky at Moore High School. Also March 26th in Water Valley, Mississippi at the high school gym. Saturday, March 21st, Blytheville, Arkansas, American Legion Arena. Friday, March 20th, wrestling returns.
Blytheville you hear about a lot if you listen to Jim Cornette. He talks about Blytheville pretty frequently.
to Lewisburg, Tennessee at Marshall County High. Also Friday the 20th, Myrtle, Mississippi at the high school gym. Thursday, March 19th, Ramsey, Indiana, North Harrison High School. Also March 19th in Ripley, Mississippi at the high school gym. Sunday, March 15th, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Sadowski Fieldhouse. Match time 3 o'clock. Friday, March 13th, Marmaduke, Arkansas at the high school gym featuring a big battle royal. Sunday, March 8th, Jackson Coliseum, Jackson, Tennessee. Box office opens at noon. In Jackson, Jerry the King Waller, Austin Idol, Jeff Jarrett, Billy Travis, and an all-star card. Next Saturday night, Sledge, Mississippi at the high school gym. This Friday night, Haytime, Missouri at the high school. This Thursday night, Batesville, Mississippi at the high school gym. Also Thursday night, Litchfield, Kentucky, Grayson County High. Wrestling Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum, Evansville, Indiana. Tuesday night, a hot card at the Louisville Gardens, Louisville, Kentucky. Monday night, the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis, Tennessee, featuring the return of Bam Bam Bigelow. Tonight, a super card in Jonesboro, Arkansas, American Legion Arena. All seats $3 in Jonesboro. Also tonight, a big card at the Fairgrounds Arena, Nashville, Tennessee. Championship Wrestling is headed your way, and coming soon, Super Tour 87.
Interesting music choice.
Yeah, I think they don't like him? Yeah, all right, they do. Alan West, Pat Tanaka stepping up into the ring.
Is this like slowed by 80%? The song sounds really low energy.
Right now, Alan West out of Zuma Beach, California. Now let's do the official introductions. What do you say? This match one fall 10-minute time limit. Introducing at a total of 533 pounds from Arkansas, Don Bass. From Memphis, Tennessee, Keith Robertson. The Arkansas flag.
Robertson is... Okay, JT Southern opened the show, right? Against Robertson. Now Robertson's back in another match?
You missed that, Dave. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, sorry I missed that. Total weight of 460 pounds on the other side of the ring. From Hawaii, Pat Tanaka. And from Zuma Beach, California, Alan West. One fall, 10-minute time limit match.
Allen has dedicated this match to his son, South 2.
Jerry Calhoun, the referee, and it looks like the Arkansas Flash is going to be starting. And one thing I've never understood is why the Arkansas Flash has a map of Texas on his wrestling boot.
He is in there with a guy who was pretty flashy himself, and Pat Tanaka, but the Arkansas Flash, Don Bass, doesn't depend on
the Arkansas
his flash. He depends on that brute strength and size. He's at 300 pounds, and boy, let me tell you, he is a powerhouse. Cowboy Don Bass, and he just saw a sample of the kind of speed that Pat Tanaka has.
We're back in the cooler match.
Tanaka and West haven't been together very long, but they have looked really good together, Dave. They really have worked well together in the short time they've partnered up, teamed up, I guess.
Don Bass called for a break there. I think he yanked Pat Tanaka's hair. Anyway, the referee made him break out of the hole. He's back near the corner, so he made the tag on Keith Robertson.
Robertson's no flyweight either.
No. Here's Allen West.
Muscle man from Zuma Beach, California. Standing side headlock lock. Keith throws him into the ropes. Allen over the top. Robertson leapfrogged, and there's a nice drop kick from the big muscle guy.
Robertson down to the corner. Don Bass, I don't know. If he wanted to confer with Don Bass, he was unsuccessful because the Arkansas Flash was talking to the crowd. Robertson stays in there. Allen West, he's got a twist on that left arm.
I feel like we're due for like a big shift, don't you, in the booking? There aren't actually a lot of stories happening, which is weird. There's just kind of like a general feud, and then you have the Lawler thing, but I guess maybe they want all the storytelling on the Lawler thing. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on outside of the main event.
He's putting some heat on the elbow and the shoulder. West gets Robertson off his feet.
Robertson also wrestles as one half of the Headhunters.
The Headhunters.
Ooh, shot. Tanaka. Tag back on Allen. They are really moving in and out of there together. Nice, Dave.
They're really working on that left arm, too. Allen West started it when he got it kind of twisted a little bit, put some heat on it. Oh, look out. Robertson has him back in his corner. Made the tag, and here's big Don Bass. Bass slamming West's head into the turnbuckle. Calls for the tag. Gets it. Robertson comes in. Bass holds him up. Knee lift by Keith Robertson. West pops him with a right fist. Robertson into the rope. West dumps him over his back. West with the cover. Count is 2. A 3 count by Allen West. And the team of West and Tanaka are going to take home the victory here.
Father and son, Randy.
Over the big team of Don Bass and Keith Robertson. Time on it, 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Pat.
You know what we should watch, if we have time, is Vader versus Don Fry in Japan.
Allen, again, coming through with a victory as they have done on a regular basis since they joined up together, and a nice win it was.
Wow,
indeed.
look at him
They
grabbing all
moved
them
back
ladies.
and forth very neatly, and I want to get you guys right over here if I can, please, Pat and Allen. Hey, Dave and I were just talking
Pat
about
and
for
Allen.
a team that hadn't been together all that long, you guys
Look at
are
this.
really
Look
working
at
well
this
together,
duo.
Allen and Pat.
Well, Lance, it makes it a whole lot easier when you got all these beautiful people out here rooting you on each and every week.
Well,
thank everyone.
You've certainly been doing an excellent job. And, Pat, I will tell you, you're back in the tag team business again, partner. You got yourself a real horse right here.
Yeah, everybody knows it's no secret. I've been looking for a partner, you know, and I think me and Alan are going to do real well together. You know, ever since Jeff dumped me, you know, we've been doing real good.
You have been doing well.
Jeff dumped me.
You made the comment there ever since.
Babyface shitting on another babyface?
Jeff dumped you. What, any significance to that, Pat?
No, it's no big thing. I was just saying, I mean, you know, everybody knows that he dumped me, and
I mean, I think I don't know if I'm not real up on exacts on the Crockett timeline, but I mean, he's from this era for sure. He's active during this time. I don't know what year he had his motorcycle accident.
So it's me and Alan now, you know.
Well, how was it that, you know, I don't want to bring open a big subject in there, but how was it first that you all got together, and what happened on the partnership between Tanaka and Jarrett?
Well, everybody knows, you know, when I saw Jeff, you know, out there in that ring bleeding, I went out there and saved him, you know. So ever since then, you know, his father and Jeff came back and said, hey, Pat, could you, you know, take Jeff on as, you know, under your wing and help him out, you know, go through the matches and like that.
Here we
go.
Said,
sure, it's no problem. And then all of a sudden, you know, something happened where they asked me to step out for a match, and then after that, it never happened again.
And that was kind of, was it an agreement between the two of you that you just wouldn't wrestle as partners anymore? Or?
No, it was just like, I mean, you know, they just asked me to one time, you know, would you like to step out one time? And I said, just no problem, you know. And then after that...
Is that when Billy Travis came in?
Yeah, well, first is Jeff's father came in, and then Billy came in. You see, they were in a tag team tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
Jeff asked you to step aside just to let Jerry come in as
right. And then after that, you know, nothing ever happened again between me and Jeff, so we weren't partners no more.
And,
Ghosted.
Well, obviously, Jeff...
So, I mean, I guess you could call people out on TV for ghosting back then, so we really shouldn't judge Dalmatian and Grace for confronting each other about ghosting on stream.
Found a pretty good partner in Billy Travis in that they did get the Southern Tag titles, and it looks like you've got a big guy right here. Well, here comes a young man we were talking about. Hi, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
I was just sitting back there, Pat, and I was listening to you talk. I just want to set something straight, you know. Maybe that is your side of the story, but my side of the story is nobody got dumped. There was a situation that happened right here on TV, and my dad agreed to be my partner, and me and him had never that you would step aside, and that's really my side of the story, Lance. And nobody dumped anybody. Pat said, sure, I'll step aside. At the time, that's what he said. I think now he's changed his...
Well, it's good to try to get the situation cleared up.
Wait a minute, Jeff. Now, you know.
I don't think they had Grok back then. Get cracked for me. How you doing, man?
When I stepped aside that one time.
This is a soap opera? Absolutely. This is like just, you know, bros with hurt feelings hashing it out on TV.
That was the deal, one time. But it didn't happen that way, did it?
Wait a minute, guys. So, Jeff.
Alan, I know it's a little embarrassing for
Jeff,
you.
You're my buddy.
Hey, listen, Jeff, I know you. You know, we're good friends. But don't come between me and my partner like this.
Pat, you're my buddy, but obviously you two have something that went on before I even came here. So I'm just going to leave it for you two, okay?
Well.
Oh, boy. Jeff came out, sabotaged his new tag team. Not only does he doesn't want to team with Pat Tanaka, but he doesn't want anybody else to partner up with him either. This is pretty, we're getting pretty melodramatic here.
We didn't want to get into a big federal case either about the whole thing, but I think it's something that I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I have had questions.
Oh, King TL was on the court show. Is that the Hurricane Paro episode that he's on trial?
Ask of me about, hey, how come Pat and Jeff aren't wrestling together? Because we did see.
Really, it's just no big deal. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just no big deal, man.
I'm not making any big deal about it. You just said right here on TV, you said that I dumped you. My father dumped you. That's not that. Maybe that's your side of the story. It's not. That's not the truth. The truth is, me and my dad came to you and we asked you, will you step aside? And you did. You said sure. You know, no problem at the time.
You're doing real good now. You know, you got a good partner, Billy Travis. You know, he's carried you through, and you guys won a championship. You know, but now you've lost the championship. You know, it's not saying much, but you know, I'm just saying.
Would you say? You said Billy's carrying me through?
I think you may have had the wrong phrase there or something, Jeff.
You know, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, someone always seems to carry you through somehow.
Oh, this is great.
No, you guys,
Maybe that's your opinion, Pat. Me and Billy, I guarantee you, Billy doesn't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I think we're equal partners, and we both carry each end of the stick pretty strong.
Okay, hey,
saying who cares?
I don't like that word anyhow. You guys, we're going to have to take a break here. I'm sorry. We're just going to have to take a break here. And we'll be back with more action on Championship Wrestling.
Jeff.
Okay, we do in fact have just not too many more days before it all comes down at the Coliseum right there in Evansville, Indiana. I tell you what a night that is going to be. Not only a whole card that's going to be full of it, where you've got an international tag, international heavyweight, Southern tag with a loser of the fall against Downtown Bruno's hair in the title, but then you have got the no time, no disqualification match. It'll have the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol and Tommy Rich going against Lawler and Bigelow. Here's Idol and Rich. Listen.
I want to get right to the point.
Wow.
I want to trim the fat wildfire and get to the meat of the matter.
Flair?
Big Bam Bam Bigelow. Over 6 foot tall, 6'5", 6'6", 400 pounds, and they say he's crazy, Tommy Wildfire Rich. They say Bam Bam Bigelow, the body of a dinosaur, but a little pea brain, and they say he's crazy. They say he wants to break bones. They say he wants to crush people. They say he wants to hurt people. He says he's going to stroll into that arena,
What is
Tommy.
he doing? What's
he's
Tommy
going to walk
Rich
down the
doing?
aisle, Tommy. He says he can have a 2x4. He says he can have a steel chair. He says he can have anything possible. He says, be on the lookout, Austin Idol and Wildfire Rich. He says, anything can happen. Jerry Lawler will be hiding behind another one. He hid behind you, Wildfire. He hid behind...
Yeah, I like that it didn't escalate any further than it did. It's at a point to where you can gauge the crowd reaction and maybe have some time to simmer it and then make a call, whether it's like, hey, you know what, I got worked up over nothing, Jeff, you know, no hard feelings, or he gets kicked through the window at the barbershop. But I like that it wasn't like, it doesn't feel like it's being rushed.
Me. He hid behind Bockwinkel. He hid behind Dundee. He hid behind Barry. He's hid behind everybody, and he thinks...
Is that who he's mad at? The Thorpes? I remember in chat he was saying he was in like he was talking to King about being into it with somebody.
This time it'll be different. It won't be different. We told him about Bockwinkel. We'll tell you about Bigelow Lawler if you think...
I saw the LA Knight action figure at Walmart the other day.
He'll stand by your side.
And there's been a tugboat at the Target here for a long time, too.
And you're the one that's crazy, Lawler. It's not Bigelow that's crazy. It's you, Lawler, and I give you my word.
Tommy Rich's eyes look like that picture of Grace that was altered, that Ben asked her if it was altered or not, where her eyes are like all the way apart, but he's looked like that just naturally.
I promise you, if you think this is jive, if you think we're shucking and jiving, take a look at this man's eyes. Because I can tell you one thing, Lawler. We took you down to nothing before. We made you half a man. You were in the hospital. You had the surgery. But this time, I can promise you, it'll be for good. We'll teach you what crazy all about.
Of a gun in action as the King goes against Kamala.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna get old footage of Kamala from an arena show, but at least it's Kamala footage.
Going after that pressure point under the arm. Puts Lawler right to his knees.
I thought it was a great
Kamala has,
promo.
if you'll pardon me the expression, a native sense about how to put a guy away. He probably doesn't know that he's going after a particular pressure point, but he knows that it'll make a man's knees turn to water, and he puts Lawler down with it. Lawler shooting that thunderbolt of a right hand right to the midsection, and Kamala just wails him. You notice he's hitting more with a chop style, Randy, than he used to. He is using the edge of that hand, which is like being hit.
First female president. Tommy, oh, I'm sure. He was probably a big user of a lot of stuff.
Right over the head with a good board, solid.
Just thinking the same thing, Lance. Using the chops.
Randy Hale
Hart comes over again. He's really working the microphone. Lance, I think what he's trying to do with Lawler, you know, he was with Idol earlier. He wants everybody to know that he's after Lawler and Neidhart both.
Yeah, he makes that very clear. There's no question about it.
I'm going to bring in Get Cracked for Me in Heroes of Wrestling as like a Ted DiBiase style character. And then that's how we can integrate in like John Galt and Lowe and all of like Crack's menagerie. I believe so, yeah, Cody Turbo. I think he was Sugar Bear Harris before that. And I think Cornette has said that they shot the original Kamala vignettes like in somebody's backyard, or Jerry Jarrett's backyard or something.
It's mouth time for Jimmy Hart as he is babbling into the microphone. Lawler caught by that pressure point. Not good. Kamala hanging in there, expending minimum energies as he is grabbed onto that spot underneath Lawler's left arm, and he is just putting his weight and his strength on it, sapping the strength that Lawler has left. The King with his Southern heavyweight belt on the line against the mighty Kamala, who is a former Southern heavyweight champion himself.
What a match. It's my fault. I know what a Kamala match is, and yet somehow in my mind, we've seen so many people performing at such a higher level than we're used to in Memphis. And for some reason, I thought it was going to be a great match. But probably in like a squash match on TV, it would have been. But this, you got to draw it out a little bit. So basically, I'm a victim of my own expectations.
Asking Lawler, you want to pass it up? No way.
Boom, hit him under the skirt.
Lawler going to bomb him. But the referee grabs his arm. Hart runs around and says, come on, stop him. Watch that hand. To his feet. We're right at 10 minutes, coming up on the 10-minute mark into it. 50 minutes to wrestle. Kamala backing Lawler over, and the referee says you're going to have to open it up. He's on the ropes.
People say that like you couldn't do a character like Kamala anymore, which I disagree with. But I think that Umaga was kind of marketed almost identically to the way they did Kamala, and he got over like huge. When they would have Umaga come out and just wreck people, that was like one of the last times in wrestling that I was like, wow, this guy is like amazing. Like I have to see all this guy's matches. I remember they brought him out and he just like pinballed old Ric Flair around the ring. Like, but then once he had to get into like longer matches, and then they had, you know, he had to put over Cena and stuff like that. It lost its luster. But there for a while, I think Umaga was just like my favorite wrestler at the time. Plus, what a great the Samoan bulldozer. Like, that's such a great nickname.
Pulls him off the ropes. Goes right back at that pressure point.
Like, I guess, like, the deal with Umaga in the territories would have been perfect, right? He comes out, does these amazing squash matches on TV that are just, like, mind-blowing, you know? They're, like, to me, they're on the same level as, like, the Joe LeDuc squash matches. These, like, amazing, memorable things. And then after that, you would have him put over, like, Lawler on an arena show that your audience didn't see, and they move on to the next territory. But, like, if you have to book Kamala weekly for like 2 years, like there's, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can do, even though like Umaga was like much better in the ring than Kamala, like there's still only so much you can do when like mystique is a big part of the like package, I guess. Or like Umaga, if he could have been used in like a Brock Lesnar role, you know, where like he's around pretty often, but like it's still kind of a big deal when he comes in, and it's normally not just like, you know, a mid-card feud. I just feel like some wrestlers really excel when they have like that big fight atmosphere, but then whenever they actually have to do like the, you know, the long-term grind of wrestling storytelling, it just doesn't work.
He does. One.
I saw him wrestle a couple times. I almost paid like $200 to be Kim Chi for his match. I mean, I think you could make a similar case for the Big Show, right? If you see the guy week in, week out on TV, wrestling over and over again, you know, even though Andre did let a lot of guys body slam him over the years, like how many people have even seen that footage now? Like probably not very many. And then how many people at the time had seen that footage? Like probably none, you know? So when you can't hide, like when you can't build that mystique, like a guy like Big Show's amazing the first time you see him, and then it's like, well, what did Cornette say? Cornette summed it up perfect. He said that you could draw $1 million with Psycho Sid one time, but that you could draw like great money for 20 years with Arn Anderson. And that kind of is the way that I look at it. But like in modern wrestling, it's hard to have characters like that, because by the time they get to the point to where they can earn the right to be part-timers, they're normally like toward the end of their careers. Madman Brando. For a second there, I thought you said Madman Pondo.
But he has had no effect on him.
I would have been a good Kim Chi. I don't know. I didn't trust him. This is the truth. Because I was a really like loudmouth, like aggressive fan. And so I thought like for sure, like I was just like, I'm not taking any shit. Oh, just imagine at Heroes of Wrestling Arena, savvy guy beating down Raven, you know, hulking up. 36 fans in attendance just losing their minds. Joe Shabatoni up in the VIP box. Ben Thorpe and Chaotic. I really liked that splash. I thought doing the like kind of like little spring pounce to it really made it like stand out. He was really gonna disqualify Kamala there for a second, and now he's just like he couldn't care less what happens. He's lost all semblance of. Now I saw Kamala a couple times when I was a kid, but he was like I said, this area typically, unless you drove like a couple hours, you got the C show, and he was not normally on the C show, but I did get to see him a couple. Yeah. Well, that's always the thing. People come in for one thing and they're like, "Oh, this is really awesome," and then they see the other stuff and they're like, "What the literal fuck is?" All Lawler's fault.
くらい WMG。
Hang on. Can you guys hear me? I switched the content. Are we back? Well,
ワールドマグマ